This production of Wareham Gatemen Baseball is brought to you by the Gatemen Baseball Network in association with the Cape Cod Baseball League. The Wareham Gatemen are 2018 West Division champs. With a high-flying offense, miraculous defense, and lights-out pitching, the Gatemen look to earn their 8th title. Join J.D. Rachi.
Ripped down to left field and fairly deep, back to the track, to the wall, and this one is gone! A grand slam for Lyle Lockhart!
Henrique Demore.
Aaron's 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss! He got him on strikes! Tolia goes down swinging, and that's the ball game.
And Cam Stewart.
This one's absolutely roped by Will Robertson out to deep right field, and this one is going to be off the wall. Collins will play it on that hop. He's got to play at second base, and he threw him out! Isaac Collins from the warning track throws out Robertson at second base.
For the 2018 CCBL playoffs.
Oliver Dunn is off, and this one is demolished. High and deep to right center field. Goodbye. Wow. Brian Packer just hit that over the trees in right field. That one hit sharply into deep left field. Idens going back on it, reaches up. He made the catch. Oh my goodness, Jeremy Idens with the catch of the year. To take away extra bases from Chase Murray. Laid out, went sideways, horizontal, made a catch at the fence. My goodness.
Up the middle, base hit. Dunn will score easily. Shenton being waved home. He's gonna score. And the Gatemen lead 7-5 in the 9th. Luke Roscom comes through.
Wareham trails by 2. The payoff pitch to Martellini. Line drive into center field, a base hit. 1 run will score. Lockhart being waved around third. He will score. We got a tie ball game in the 9th. Gian Martellini comes through in a big way against his former team.
Here's that 1-2. This one's going to be smoked out towards left center field. A long run out there for Jeremy Idens, and he's going to reach over the wall. Oh my goodness, he made the catch. Jeremy Idens just took a home run away from J.J. Blade, reaching over the wall here at left field in Eldridge Park.
Swung on, drilled into deep right field at the track, at the wall, and it's gone! A walk-off home run for the Gatemen. Austin Shenton wins it for Wareham.
It's time for Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and here for the call are J.D. Rachi and Cam Stewart.
From Wareham, Massachusetts, it's the 2018 Cape Cod Baseball League Championship Series Game 1. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Spillane Field alongside Cameron Stewart. I'm J.D. Rachi getting you ready for the Wareham Gatemen and the Chatham Anglers in Game 1 of the 2018 CCBL final series of the season. It's a battle of the aces today. Ryan Garcia on the bump for the Gatemen, Austin Bergner on the mound for the Chatham Anglers. And really, this is a series that went all Gatemen in the regular season, Cam. A 4-0 record for Wareham against Chatham, plus 22 run differential, outscored Chatham 34-12 in the regular season.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that run differential could be misleading. I don't think that was the case in this season series. The Gatemen had some of their best offensive performances against the Chatham Anglers this year, starting with opening day, the 12-5 victory in which they had a 7-run 9th inning. Like we mentioned in the pregame show, a lot like that Game 2 against Catuit, where they put across a 10-run 9th to put the game out of reach. They have feasted, as many teams have that have beaten Chatham this year, they have feasted on the Anglers' bullpen. The starting pitching has been pretty good for the Anglers. Obviously, the offense is their bread and butter, but that bullpen is their most suspect part of their game by far. So I think that'll become huge, obviously, for any team going down the stretch here in the finals, but especially for Chatham. They need to get a lot out of their starting pitching today because the Gatemen, while they've gone through a couple different lineups, basically, because all this was at the beginning of the season. The last time these teams played was back on July 11th. So 2 different teams, especially on the Gateman side offensively, but that's how they've gotten to the Anglers this year.
One guy offensively that Wareham is going to have to watch out for is the leadoff man, Blake Sable, the left-handed hitting left fielder out of USC, actually a former Gateman, spent a little bit of time with Wareham last summer, but has turned it on and was an East Division All-Star this season with the Chatham Anglers, 7 home runs, an absolute mammoth at the plate. First pitch of the ball game coming from Ryan Garcia. It's popped up foul down the left field line on a fastball, coming in at 6:34, 4 minutes after scheduled first pitch.
You want to talk about a guy who can improve their draft stock in the Cape League? Blake Sable is the epitome of that. Just 276 on the regular year for USC, 4 homers, 24 RBI, nothing jumping off the page, but he has been absolutely stellar for Chatham. That average well over 300, and the power numbers there too.
A 1 from Garcia is up and away. It's a ball and a strike to Sable, who in this postseason is hitting .474 with 9 hits, a double, 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs. Here comes the 1-1 from Garcia. Fastball popped up left. Jacob Goldfarb ranging into foul territory, still chasing, but he runs out of room and it drops foul.
That obviously just going down as a strike there, but I think that's something that Ryan Garcia is going to have success with today, and that's getting guys off balance. I talked about it in the pregame show. That fastball has a bit of dip to it, and Blake Sable was way off balance on that one, way under it. That's the thing that he's going to do so well today, is changing eye levels.
Garcia, meanwhile, in the postseason, started game 1, was the ace for the season, all season long, I should say. Started game 1 of the postseason against the...
Too much, but it did change a bit right at the end, right down the middle. Blake Sable, you got to take the bat off your shoulder, son. And that's UCLA over USC in the strikeout.
That strikeout brought to you by Lang, Exafars, and Buller, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. You mentioned UCLA versus USC. Now we're seeing another Pac-12 matchup, UCLA versus Arizona State, and Spencer Torkelson. First pitch to the big right-hander. Played just over 30 games with Chatham this season. 0-1, misses low. It's a ball and a strike. But he had some pretty good numbers, to say the least, widely regarded as maybe the best bat in the Cape Cod Baseball League outside of Andrew Vaughn this summer. In 25 games, he hit .333 with 9 doubles and 7 home runs. Here's the 1-1 from Garcia. Breaking ball up and away, 2-1.
Yeah, and we've talked about all season long how good Andrew Vaughn is, and how impressive a specimen he is. Spencer Torkelson is right in that same conversation. He has got pro and stud written all over him.
2 balls and a strike. Blue Sox coming out from underneath the gray pants for Torkelson. Swung on and drilled into right field, but it's going to hang up for Isaac Collins, who drifts in toward the foul line and camps out underneath it for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Ryan Garcia. Now we'll give you the defense for the Gatemen in the outfield. You just heard Isaac Collins make the catch in right. In center field, it's Jeremy Idens, and in left, Jacob Goldfarb. Meanwhile, on the infield, Austin Shenton at third base, Ryan Kreidler, the shortstop, Oliver Dunn at second, Lyle Lockhart at first, and Drew Millis behind the plate for Ryan Garcia. So now another dangerous hitter in Michael Bush comes to the dish. First pitch from Garcia to Bush, the UNC Tar Heels. A fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Umpires today, Mickey Garcia behind home plate, Joe Caraco at first, Sam Finn at second, and the Cape Cod Baseball League Umpire of the Year, Rick Emerson, at third base. 0-1 breaking ball just misses inside, 1-1. Bush, a late addition to the Chatham roster because he was playing in the College World Series with the University of North Carolina. The 1-1 home. Fastball outside corner strike, 1-2. Much like Austin Bergner, the starter today for the Chatham Anglers, has made a huge impact since coming over from the Tar Heels. Traditionally a first baseman, but playing second base tonight. The 1-2, breaking ball, check swing on the outside corner, appealed down to the third base umpire Emerson. He did not go, 2-2. Bush 6'1", 210 out of Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Hitting .357 in the playoffs. 2-2. Breaking ball, got him swinging. Drew Millis applies the tag for the out, but Ryan Garcia is looking well, Ryan Garcia-esque. 3 up, 3 down against probably the 3 best hitters in the Chatham lineup. Nothing across for the Anglers in the top of the first. We're heading to the bottom half here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
After a scoreless top of the first for the Chatham Anglers, the Wareham Gatemen coming to the bats for the first time today. Isaac Collins, the switch-hitting right fielder from Creighton, will lead it off against the right-hander out of UNC, Austin Bergner. Big guy, 6'5" on the mound out of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Had an excellent season in 4 starts with the Chatham Anglers this year. A 2.38 ERA in the regular season, 22 2/3 innings. He gave up 22 hits. 8 runs, 6 earned, 7 walks to 26 strikeouts. Fastball can get upwards of 95 miles an hour. You've heard it has touched 97 this summer. And his lone playoff start of the year, 6 innings in Game 1 versus Harwich in the first round, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 Ks for the righty out of Florida. So Isaac Collins, the switch hitter batting left out of Creighton, will lead it off. He takes a deep breath and steps into the batter's box to face off with Austin Bergner. First pitch from the lanky right-hander. Fastball up and away. Tried to frame it, did Colin Simpson behind the plate, but it's out of the strike zone, 1-0.
This will be an interesting look for the Gatemen today. You mentioned it in the pregame. They haven't faced anything close to 97. Probably 94 has been the highest they've seen right around there this year.
The 1-0 from Bergner. Fastball ripped back to the backstop behind home plate, 1-1. And even when they have seen 94, it's been from a reliever that's going to go maybe 1 or 2 innings against you. They've seen nothing like that from a starter that's going to sit in the 97 range in the first couple of innings and then will drop down to 94 if he continues to go in this game. Ball and a strike to Collins, who waves a tan bat over the plate. Bergner brings the tan glove in front of his face, rocks back, kicks and fires the 1-1. It's another fastball, but again it misses outside, 2 balls and a strike. To Isaac Collins, who has been one of the most consistent hitters on the Gatemen all season, but especially in the postseason, a .444 average. He's 8 for 18 with 4 runs, 2 doubles, and 2 triples in the playoffs. Bergner shakes his head yes to the sign from Colin Simpson, the 2-1. Fastball ripped right back up the middle, and it's going to dunk into center field and down for a base hit. So Isaac Collins having no problems picking up the fastball from Bergner. 1 on with nobody out for Jacob Goldfarb.
Yeah, and it was a steady host of fastballs there. Nothing but fastballs from Bergner. And he's going to basically say, you know what, I know I've got the best fastball in this league. I'm going to use it until you guys can beat it. Collins does it there, but don't be surprised if we see almost entirely fastballs in this first inning and see where it gets him. He's going to try and feel out this Gateman lineup that he hasn't seen before.
Now he's working out of the stretch. First pitch to Jacob Goldfarb. Fastball right down the heart of the plate for a strike, 0-1. Goldfarb coming into the game at 1 for 6 in 2 games this playoffs. He's got 3 runs, an RBI, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Left-handed hitting left fielder tonight out of Oregon. The 0-1 from Bergner. Fastball outside, 1-1. Home plate umpire Mickey Garcia is not giving Bergner that outer half to left-handed batters.
No, and we saw Ryan Garcia, obviously the starter for the Gatemen, get 1 on that outside corner to a left-hander. Didn't get the inside corner in the same at-bat. So that's something to look for going forward. Both pitchers would love to use that corner.
1-1. Fastball came in and blew it by him on the inside corner, 1-2. From what we've been told, Bergner will feature a curveball, not much else, maybe a changeup, but the fastball really is his bread and butter. Still a young guy, just celebrated his 21st birthday, so there's still plenty of time for him to grow and to develop a couple of more pitches as the season and as his career moves forward. 1-2, fastball up and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Isaac Collins, meanwhile, at first base, the team leader in stolen bases this season with 5 steals in the regular season. Gateman, not a team that's going to run on you a ton, only 25 steals the entire year. Meanwhile, Chatham, who had finished near the bottom of the league in stolen bases for pretty much the entirety of John Schiffner's run as head coach, finished at the top of the league in stolen bases. 2-2, blew the changeup by him that time. First time we've seen a breaking ball used. Jacob Goldfarb set down on strikes. First K of the day for Bergner.
The perfect time to use it, because we've only seen fastballs from him so far, and you've got to be geared up for it. Has a ball or two to work with. It was 2-2, so has another pitch to work with, and just drops the changeup on him. Be interesting to see if that's something he goes to a lot with 2 strikes.
It's going to be interesting to see if he does that with Austin Shenton, the best hitter in the playoffs thus far for any team in the CCBL. Left-hander out of FIU strides in. Bergner staring in. The first pitch is a fastball in the outside corner. Rip and a miss from Austin Shenton, 0-1.
And he's a guy who's feeling it right now. 3 homers in the playoffs. He's been really gearing up for that fastball. And you could see it right there on the first pitch. He was swinging for the downs.
Hitting .600 in the postseason this year for the Gatemen as Bergner steps off and brushes some dirt away near the rubber. .600 average in 4 games. He's 9 for 15. A triple, 3 homers, 4 walks. He's been on base a ton in the postseason. Right-hander Bergner comes set, 0-1. Fastball, outside corner strike at the knees, 0-2. Shenton checked his swing, thought about going around, but realized he wouldn't have been able to do really anything with it. No balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, scoreless tie here in Game 1 of the 2018 CCBL. Chatham. Ben Ramirez at a USC at third. Greg Jones, the shortstop. Michael Bush at second. Kyle McCann at first. Blake Sable in left. John Rave in center. And Spencer Torkelson, the right fielder. Ball and 2 strikes, short lead for Isaac Collins being held on there by McCann. The 1-2 is tipped off the arm of the day. 1-2 from Bergner. Isaac Collins is off with the pitch. It's fouled back into the chain link fence behind home plate by Shenton, 1-2.
Shenton kicking himself after that one. He knew he was right on that pitch, and especially with the runner in motion, he knows he missed one, just missed one right there.
And now Colin Simpson going to go out and have a chat with Austin Bergner. It looked like he might have made a motion to his pitching arm. He pointed down at it, but now Simpson's going to go out and have a chat with him. He's thrown a couple of pitches already in this inning, already up to 14 through the first 3 batters.
Yeah, 14 for 1 out so far. That's definitely not the ratio he wants, but you never know. I mean, in the final series, you know it's going to be his last start. He's a guy that they'll probably stretch out. We saw Tristan English for them go 8 2/3 yesterday, over 100 pitches, knowing that was going to be the last time he threw for a while. So we'll see how it goes. Still going to be effective.
A ball and 2 strikes. Bergner comes set. The pitch home. Breaking ball low in the dirt. Good stop by Simpson. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dirt around home plate, pretty much brand new. A lot of new red-looking dirt here at Spillane, trying to cover up the wet holes on the infield. Usually stone dust, but there is dirt now at shortstop, first base, and behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Shenton. Short lead for Collins at first. The pitch home. Fastball yanked down the left field line, but foul, and Shenton continues to stay alive. This is something you mentioned, Cam, in the pregame show. Ride up that pitch count on Austin Bergner, and that's exactly what they're doing thus far.
Yeah, all 3 guys up there put together good at-bats. They've seen exactly what he has, and so far that's pretty much just been the fastball. Obviously the changeup to get Goldfarb, but they know where he's trying to locate it, and they've been right on it. Shenton's still waiting for that pitch.
Bergner looks back at first. Comes home with the 2-2. Isaac Collins off pitch, misses low. Throw down by Colin Simpson. Not going to be in time as it squirts away from Greg Jones, backed up by the second baseman Bush. But that's a stolen base for Isaac Collins, and it's a full count to Austin Shenton.
Colin Simpson behind the plate, not a great defensive catcher. And he had a chance at Collins here. I mean, this was not a terrific jump by Collins. Again, one of the fastest guys on the team and good base stealing instincts. But this was not some of his best work, and Simpson just could not get the throw on line. Gateman catching a bit of a break.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner in scoring position. The pitch home again, poked foul. And the count stays full at 3-2. Ten pitches now in the at-bat for Austin Shenton. The 11th upcoming as he waggles a tan bat over his head, leads the league in average in the postseason. Another payoff pitch. Fastball nubbed foul again toward the Chatham dugout down the third base line. And again, it stays at 3-2. Jeremy Idens, the UCLA center fielder today, waits on deck. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, a scoreless tie in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series between the West Division champion Gatemen and the East Division champion Chatham Anglers. Still a full count as Bergner tucks the tan glove into his chest. Again, towing the slab from straight away. Here comes another payoff pitch. Fastball ripped on and missed. And Shenton goes down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Bergner. 2 gone in the first.
Obviously a huge out there. One of your best hitters up at the plate. Definitely the best hitter in the postseason for the Gatemen. And you work a man into scoring position. He puts together a great at-bat, though 13 pitches on it. But it's just that fastball with a little bit of bite that time. Something we haven't seen featured from Bergner so far. But the velocity and a bit of movement at the end, nearly unhittable.
Now Jeremy Idens, the right-handed hitting center fielder out of UCLA, strides in. Still a runner at second base for the Cape's RBI king this regular season. First pitch is popped up on the infield. Greg Jones will trot in and camp out underneath it as he runs onto the infield grass for out number 3. So Bergner throws a lot of pitches in inning number 1. Isaac Collins the only one to successfully get on base, a single and a steal for him before being stranded in scoring position at second. Goose egg through the first inning as we head to the top of the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is sponsored by Dietz & Watson Premium Meats and Cheeses. Their all-beef Franks are their ultimate summer hot dog. They're smoked the old-fashioned way with just a touch of garlic and paprika. Pick up a pack at your local deli today. Dietz & Watson. It's a family thing.
Shop from home year-round on Gateman.org. You can customize your Gateman gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gateman.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Three up, 3 down for the Chatham Anglers in the top of the first inning. Now at the top of the second here at Spillane Field. Ace Ryan Garcia back to the mound. He'll deal with 4, 5, 6. Colin Simpson, Drew Mendoza, and John Rave for the Anglers. 2 strikeouts in the first inning. A looking K of Blake Sable and a swinging strikeout of Michael Bush as the left-handed hitting catcher Colin Simpson strides in. Lefty out of Oklahoma State.
And like Bergner on the other side, we really didn't see the breaking ball till that last batter from Ryan Garcia, and it was the 2-strike pitch that he got Michael Bush with. If he's got that going today for him as well, this could be a short night at the plate for these Anglers hitters.
First pitch fastball is low to Simpson, coming into the game at .235 in the postseason. 4 for 17. The 1-0. Fastball yanked down the first base line, but foul to the right of the first base bag, where Lyle Lockhart guards the infield. Out of those 4 hits, 2 doubles and a home run for Simpson. So when he gets a hang of the ball, he hits it a long way. 6 RBIs in the postseason with a walk and 4 strikeouts for the Oklahoma State Cowboy. As we mentioned, played left field yesterday, behind the plate today. 1-1, popped up high into right field. Sky high for Isaac Collins, drifting towards center. Takes a couple of steps to his left and corrals it for out number 1.
We talk about changing the eye levels from Garcia so far in this game. First couple pitches were low to Colin Simpson, and he goes up high, elevated fastball. Simpson is a guy who can clean it out, but really, like most lefties, likes the ball low and in. And so he's kind of off balance when he swings that one out, and it's not a terrific swing by Simpson that time. I think just trying to foul it off, just kind of yanks that bat at it, and that's why Isaac Collins didn't have to do much work.
So now the DH, Drew Mendoza, strides in. First pitch. Fastball down and away, a ball and no strikes to the Florida State Seminole left-handed bat, 6'4", 220 pounds, hitting .250 in the postseason, just 1 for 4, hasn't seen many plate appearances in 3 games. 1-0, breaking ball, big rip and a miss, and Drew Millis is down behind home plate. Looks like he might have gotten hit in the chest protector, but that is not much for Millis to recover from considering what he's gone through this season.
No, yeah, you said it. That's nothing. Drew Millis has been through it all behind the plate this year at Spillane.
He's all good and ready to go, taking a couple of deep breaths as the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia, checks on him. Mendoza just finished up his sophomore season at Florida State. Played with the YD Red Sox last summer, but choosing to go with the Chatham Anglers in 2018. Ball and a strike, the pitch home from Garcia. Misses up and away, 2-1. Mendoza out of Mineola, Florida, and Lake Mineola High School. A .312 average this season at Florida State. 62 starts at third base. 2-1. Fastball. Pop foul back and left, 2-2. All ACC third team this year. 17 doubles, a triple, and 7 home runs, so he does have some power. Although he's only had 2 home runs the entire season for Chatham, both of those coming in the regular season when he hit .232. The 2-2 from Garcia. Breaking ball ripped down the right field line, but foul just out in front of a curve from the right-hander Garcia, 2-2.
Yes, it's not an effective breaking ball from Garcia this time, but I was just going to say, I expect him to go with 2 strikes to the breaking ball here on Mendoza because of the size difference. He's standing at 6'4", Garcia barely breaking about 6 feet. He knows that it's going to be really tough for him to get his hands down there on a breaking ball low.
2-2, breaking ball outside, also missed high, and the count runs full. Mendoza touted as one of the top prospects coming into the Cape League last season, but has struggled here on the Cape. Payoff pitch. 3-2 is low. Mendoza is on at first with a walk. First base runner of the day for Chatham. 1 on, 1 out in the second.
That's going to be a key. The last 3 breaking balls. One was foul and 2 he lays off. And if Garcia can't locate them for strikes and these guys are laying him off, that's going to be a tough night for Garcia because these anglers, we talk about how great the lineup is. They feast on fastballs. You can't be living with that no matter how good you are.
Another good hitter coming to the plate now for Chatham. We'll be saying that a lot. First pitch to John Rave is a strike. It tips off the glove of Drew Millis, but trickles up the first base side where he picks it up. No advance from Mendoza, 0-1. Rave this season at .500 in the postseason. 7 for 14, 3 doubles, a home run. His home run came in the onslaught that they whooped the Brewster Whitecaps with in Game 1 of the Eastern Division Finals. 5 home runs for Chatham that night in an 11-6 win. Garcia out of the stretch for the first time today. Comes set, belt tie, the 0-1. Fastball showed bunt but pulled it back, did Rave. It's 1-1 as it misses outside. Rave, the center fielder out of Illinois State. Hit .304 on the season, was an East Division All-Star for the Anglers. Short lead for Mendoza on at first, being held on by Lyle Lockhart. Here comes the 1-1 from Garcia. Ripped down the left field line, drifting toward foul territory, but it will get in ahead of Jacob Goldfarb. The pinwheel is on for Drew Mendoza, but then he stops at third base. It's a double for John Raven, 2 runners in scoring position for Ben Ramirez.
And this is one just breaking the right way for Chatham. Not much on the swing from Rave. Just trying to put it in play. He's kind of lunging on the outside pitch, and he just drops it just a few feet inside that fair territory down left field line. Now things are getting pretty salty for the first time, it seems like, all postseason, for the first time in a couple weeks for Ryan Garcia.
Second and third, just 1 out now for Ben Ramirez, the third baseman at USC. First pitch fastball is popped up foul back and left, 0-1. Ramirez, perhaps the second most successful baseball player in his family. His brother Luke, a Little League World Series champion with Chula Vista, California in 2009. 6'3", 190 out of Chula Vista, California. 0-1 from Garcia. Looping breaking ball up at the eye level of Ramirez. It's 1-1.
Secondary pitches just have not been there for Garcia so far.
Ramirez with at-bats in both of the Brewster games in the 2-game sweep for the Chatham Anglers. Went 0 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. 1-1 from Garcia. Fastball yanked right back toward us behind home plate, 1-2.
And the struggle of command in this inning from Garcia is not unlike the one we saw in Game 1 against Katuitt. Walked a couple of guys, but it was really just that inning. He came back and had 2 solid innings after that. And the other big difference, Chatham can hit a lot better than Katuitt can.
Ramirez hitting .228 on the season, but played a lot of games, 33 of them for Chatham. Look back at third, the 1-2. Breaking ball up and away, but it's swung on and missed by Ben Ramirez. Strikeout number 3 on the day for Ryan Garcia, and a big one for the second out in the second inning.
Humongous to leave 2 men stranded in scoring position. He keeps going to that breaking ball. That one, again, not great. It's still up in the zone. But when you're sitting fastball dead red like Ramirez is and you're geared up for it, that'll get you just about every time.
Greg Jones, the switch-hitting shortstop out of UNC Wilmington, will bat from the left side now against Garcia. 2 outs, but still both runners in scoring position. First pitch fastball, backhanded pick by Millis as it runs low in the dirt. 1-0. Jones coming into the game 1 for 10 in the postseason, but that one was a double. He scored 3 runs with 3 walks and 4 Ks. Led the league in stolen bases this season. Very tough guy to throw out on the base paths. 1-0 from Garcia. Fastball inside corner strike. Cross Drew Millis up, so it might have not been where he wanted it, but still a very well-placed pitch. 1-1.
Yeah, ran inside, and I don't think Jones is expecting it either because Millis is set up outside, but can't live with that all day.
Signs coming in from Drew Millis as the Cary, North Carolina native Jones waves a bat over the plate. 1-1 from Garcia. Fastball ripped down the left field line, but foul. 1-2.
Here it is, big pitch upcoming for Garcia. We've seen him try to go to that breaking ball. It hasn't necessarily been there. The fastball's been okay for him so far. That's how he's gotten the majority of his outs. Be interesting to see his sequence with a couple of balls to work with.
Speedy Jones in the batter's box. Drew Mendoza at third. Another good runner in John Rave at second base. Mendoza dancing at third base. The 1-2 breaking ball got him swinging. A huge strikeout as Drew Millis is kind of tied up, but a strikeout for Ryan Garcia leaves runners stranded at second and third, and another goose egg for the Anglers in the second. Huge pitching performance thus far for Ryan Garcia, a scoreless inning in the first, and another scoreless frame in the second. We're headed to the bottom of the second inning here at Spillane Field. It's still a scoreless tie on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority.
Masterful performance from Ryan Garcia in the top half of this inning. What does Austin Bergner have to offer us now as the Chatham Anglers come back on defense? The Gatemen, a single for Isaac Collins to lead off the first inning, then 3 straight outs from Jacob Goldfarb, Austin Shenton, and Jeremy Idens, but it's good enough at least to see that you can hit the flamethrower in Bergner. Yeah, and I think looking forward into this inning, the resurgence of the Gatemen offense is just the confidence level going into 5, 6, 7 in the order. A couple weeks ago, we would have been saying, oh man, Shenton and Idens got out. In 2 innings, we'll have another shot to score a run. But the way Millis, Martellini, and Lockhart, the 3 guys who are due up, and even Dunn, who's due up 4th, have gone so far in this last 2 weeks of the regular season into the postseason, you're feeling pretty confident top to bottom in this Gatemen order, and that's been the major difference. So Drew Millis, the switch-hitting catcher out of Missouri State, hitting .313 in the postseason for the Gatemen, much better than the .261 average he featured in the regular season. Austin Bergner, the big right-hander on the mound, 6'5" frame. First pitch is a breaking ball. Misses down and in, I should say, 1-0.
Bergner might have done his homework on Drew Millis, because he's been a guy who in this postseason loves to swing at the first pitch he sees and has gotten a couple base knocks off it. Doesn't start with his bread and butter, the fastball, but doesn't get him to chase.
1-0. Fastball in the outside corner, a strike, 1-1. Outfield shifting slightly for Millis to go the other way. There's a pretty lengthy gap out in right center field, but Rave does have the speed to make up for it if Millis can put it in that gap. 1-1. Fastball inside corner, strike, 1-2. Millis 5 for 16 in the postseason, as in the regular season. Pretty much no extra base power to speak of. Only had 3 doubles in the regular season. No extra base hits in the playoffs. 1-2 from Bergner. Fastball, called strike 3 on the inside corner.
And Millis likes to stay away from the inside corner when he's from the left side, which is not something all lefties share. But he loves the outside pitch and taking it the other way, especially in his hot streak lately. Been taking a lot of balls the other way. I think that's why you saw the Chatham outfield preparing for it. And he just doesn't want to pull the trigger on those balls inside.
Third strikeout of the day for Austin Bergner. Now the first ACC matchup we're seeing today. First pitch from Bergner to Gian Martellini. Misses up and in, 1-0. UNC Tar Heel versus the Boston College Eagle. DHing tonight for Martellini. Big, powerful right-handed bat out of Johnston, Rhode Island. 1-0 from Bergner. Fastball fouled off, 1-1.
Love to see him back in the lineup. Got the day off in Game 2 at Falmouth. But we talked about it all year. The resurgence of the offense has coincided well with the resurgence of Gian Martellini being installed into the lineup more and really hitting well.
.417 average in the postseason in 3 games. 5 for 12 with a double and 2 runs scored. He's also got 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Pushed all the way back in the batter's box. Here comes the 1-1 from the flamethrower Bergner. Heater hits the outside black for a strike, 1-2. Martellini, the DH out of Boston College. On the preseason roster, released, picked back up after Michael Amditis went back to Miami. 1-2. Fastball under the legs and through the wickets of Colin Simpson. 2-2. And Mickey Garcia, the home plate umpire, just fired an 80-mile-an-hour fastball back at Bergner.
He wants to, send the message back. He wants to show, hey, I can bring the heat too.
My goodness. Not sure what Mickey Garcia's baseball connections or bloodlines are, but that thing was coming in hot. Bergner shakes his head yes to the signal from Colin Simpson. It's 2-2. Breaking ball up near the head of Martellini, and the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Martellini heading into his senior year at Boston College. Had a bit of a down year this season with the Eagles, but as a sophomore, led the team in slugging percentage. 3-2. Fastball yanked into the left center field gap, and it rolls all the way to right in front of John Rave, but Gian Martellini will stop at first base with a 1-out single.
You talk about the defensive prowess of John Rave just a moment ago, and the ground that he can cover. He plays this ball perfectly in center field to hold Martellini to a single. This thing was stung. On a fastball coming in, it's harder going out, and that looked labeled like it was going to roll all the way to the wall. But Rave plays it perfectly enough to hold the not-so-fleet of foot Gian Martellini at first with a single. But that's a big confidence boost for Martellini and the Gatemen offense. Collins had it stung up the middle to lead things off in the game, but a couple of strikeouts have come since then, and Martellini shows we can still hit this guy.
So Martellini on at first, and now the first pitch to Lyle Lockhart. Fastball that misses outside, 1-0. Lockhart heading into his junior season at Houston in the playoffs, hitting 176 for Wareham, just 3 for 17 for the everyday first baseman. 1-0. Fastball swung on and chopped toward the pitcher. Turns to second for 1. On to first. Got him there for the double play. So a 1-6-3 double play ends the threat for the Gatemen and retires the side in the second. Minimum faced for Austin Bergner here in the second inning. He's been great so far, and one guy that really knows a lot about pitching and a lot about what this Chatham offense can offer, being from the Pac-12, is Jack Ralston. He is with our Mary Orders.
Thanks, guys. So, Jack, first game the championship series. What's the vibe like in the bullpen?
It's fun. It's relaxed. I mean, it's just another game in the Cape, so I mean, everyone's enjoying it. Just trying to not to like overthink it, pretty much.
Your college teammates at UCLA with tonight's starter Ryan Garcia. How do you think he's doing so far?
He's doing well. He's done well this whole summer. Great guy. It's fun watching him compete out there. So.
How do you think certain experiences at UCLA have helped him here?
He pitched in the regionals, which was a big stage, and this is obviously a big stage. And he did really well out there. So I think that helped him a lot preparing for this.
Lastly, you faced Torkelson, who's on Chatham, during your UCLA career. Can you talk a little bit about him as a batter and how to try to get him out?
He's a very good hitter, but I mean, just if you get ahead of him, I mean, a good angle on the fastball, mostly he'll get himself out. So,
Jack, thanks so much for your insight. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary and Jack Ralston. Ralston's UCLA teammate Ryan Garcia back to the bump here in the top of the third inning. He's gone scoreless through 2, as has his counterpart Austin Bergner. So Kyle McCann, the first baseman out of Georgia Tech, bottom of the order for Chatham, due up 9-1-2. McCann, Sable, and Torkelson. So we will see both of the best hitters on this Chatham team come to the plate in this inning. McCann, the left-handed bat out of Georgia Tech, playing first base tonight for the Anglers. Taking a while to settle into the box, but now comes in at the behest of the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia. Garcia ready to go on the mound. First pitch to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. Just misses outside on a heater, 1-0. We have not seen that outside corner be given to these pitchers thus far. The outside corner to lefties. And the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia, he has been consistent through the first 2 innings. 1-0. Fastball. Clip back foul. 1-1. McCann has been a bit of a revelation for this Chatham offense in the postseason. A .273 average in 4 games. That's after hitting just .219 in the regular season. He's got a home run on the year in the postseason. The 1-1. Fastball low, 2-1. 3 for 11, 2 runs scored for Kyle McCann. So he hasn't seen every at-bat that he possibly could in the 4 games, but has been a consistent member of the lineup. Caught his Georgia Tech teammate Tristan English. 2-1 fastball. This one's on the outside black, 2-2. Seeing a lot of fastball from both pitchers, both Ryan Garcia and Austin Bergner in this game.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that going forward, especially from Garcia, if he can continue to stay ahead of these hitters. As I've mentioned before, breaking ball hasn't been at its best today.
2-2 is popped up foul down the left field side, but it will get out of play over our heads. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. First batter of the inning here for the Chatham Anglers. They've got 1 hit thus far. The Gatemen with a pair of base knocks through their first 2 innings. 2-2 from Garcia. Breaking ball up and away, and the count runs full. Can adjust his batting gloves as he steps back into the batter's box on the left-hand side. Just finished up his sophomore season with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Garcia shakes off a couple of signs from the catcher, Drew Millis. Gets one he likes. Here comes the payoff pitch. Fastball dribbled weakly down the first base side, but it will roll foul.
And with what I was saying about Garcia pitching ahead of guys with that fastball, the fastball control has been excellent today, as it always is. It's just the breaking ball has been all over the place. So he figures, hey, I can change eye levels with this fastball, and it will almost work like throwing a different pitch at them. So when I get ahead of a guy 0-2 or 1-2, I can just throw the fastball on the outside corner or up elevated by the letters, maybe the inside corner, and his pinpoint accuracy has been so good that he can afford to do that.
Another payoff pitch. Fastball misses outside. McCann on with a leadoff walk. Here comes the top of the order in Blake Sable.
That was a risky pitch for Garcia because, as we've said, that outside corner isn't there. And now it's never good to walk the leadoff man, but especially when it's the number 9 man in the order and you've got these 2 guys coming up next, doesn't bode well usually.
And this is not your typical 1-2 top of the order for the Chatham Anglers. This is one of the most powerful 1-2 punches I've seen ever in baseball. First pitch changeup, waved on and missed by Sable on the outside corner, 0-1.
Yeah, it's kind of that new baseball adage, isn't it, of just putting the sabermetrics, your top two guys, your best two hitters up in 1-2. I mean, these guys have 14 homers and 47 RBI between them in the 1 and 2 spot. It's definitely still a little weird to see.
Here comes the 0-1 from Garcia. Looping breaking ball just missed the outside corner, 1-1. Sable, as we mentioned, out of USC, another all Pac-12 matchup. We'll see a couple of those throughout the Chatham lineup tonight with Ryan Garcia on the bump. 1-1. Yanked toward the second base side. Oliver Dunn will field and throw on to first. Couldn't have time to turn two, so McCann moves up to second base. Effectively a sacrifice for Blake Sable. 4-3 on the putout, 1 gone in the third.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's basically a sacrifice to get that man to second with less than 2 outs still, and a guy like Spencer Torkelson coming to the plate. This is still a pretty good play by Dunn. He's got a lot of ground to cover. He's playing up the middle in the double play depth, and he has to range all the way over there, especially with your first baseman Lyle Lockhart holding the man on at first. He's got to cover a lot of ground, and he does. I thought that was going to trickle into right field and maybe get the runner even to third.
So now Spencer Torkelson comes into bat with a runner in scoring position. First pitch to the big right-hander out of Arizona State. Bender makes him bend out of the way, 1-0. Torkelson this season, one of the most dominant players in the country. Team USA, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Pac-12 All-Conference team, led the country in home runs with 25. An absolutely stellar rookie campaign for Torkelson at Arizona State. 1-0 fastball is swung on and clubbed high but shallow into left field. Now Ryan Kreidler will drift over into foul territory from the shortstop position and make the catch for out number 2.
Key out. One of the best bats in the entire league up at the plate with a man at second, and they can't advance him. And I was surprised to see the sequence from Garcia. The first one's up and in, and I'm figuring, okay, he's going to see if he can get that outside corner to right-handers. You see guys brush guys off to open up the outside part of the plate, but instead he tries to sneak one inside again and gets bailed out with the pop-up.
So still a runner in scoring position. Gatemen are certainly not out of the woods yet with another good hitter in Michael Bush at the plate. Hit over 300 this season for the Chatham Anglers. First pitch to the UNC Tar Heel is chopped toward the second base side, and Oliver Dunn. He fields it on 2 hops. His throw on to first for Lyle Lockhart is in time, and the side is retired. So again, the Chatham Anglers get a runner in scoring position, but again, Ryan Garcia works out of the jam. We're headed to the bottom of the third, still no score here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Get Gateman gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gateman apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Austin Bergner back to the mound for the Chatham Anglers in the bottom of the third inning. We've still got a scoreless ball game here in the first game of the 2018 Cape Cod Baseball League Championship Series between the Anglers and the Wareham Gatemen. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for Wareham. Oliver Dunn, Ryan Kreidler, and Isaac Collins due up for the Gatemen. And these are 3 guys that have really stepped up in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I was remiss to mention it in the last inning, when we talked about Millis Martellini Lockhart. But Kreidler has been so good at the bottom of the order for the Gatemen. He is a guy who is a vocal leader on the team, but he has led with his play here in the postseason. We talk about the big home run that got them back in the game 1 here against Falmouth. He has just been doing it all year, not trying to do too much at the plate, but especially in this postseason. He's finding ways to get on base and keep the line moving down there at the bottom of the order. So expect him to keep that going today. Obviously, the toughest pitcher the Gatemen have had to face in this postseason still on the mound.
But before we get to Ryan Kreidler, it'll first be Oliver Dunn, the left-handed hitting second baseman out of Utah, to face Bergner. First pitch from the lanky right-hander. Fastball right down Broadway for a strike, 0-1. Coming into this game, done 1 for 10 on the postseason in 3 games. Got the day off in Game 4 against the Falmouth Commodores. 0-1 pitch on the inside corner, 0-2. He's got 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So when he has reached base, he's been productive. Here comes the 0-2 from Bergner. Slider outside, 1-2. Coming into the postseason at .243 on the regular season, but considering at one point his average was at .077, Oliver Dunn has been red hot at the end of the year. A ball and 2 strikes. Bergner rocks back, kick sign, fires. 1-2. Sliced foul down the left field line. Still a ball and 2 strikes. That shatters the bat for Oliver Dunn. He'll have to get a new piece of lumber.
Yeah, but these guys in the bottom of the order, I was talking about it a bit with Millis, Martellini, Lockhart as well. But that's where the resurgence has come from. You know, we saw struggles. We're seeing one with Jeremy Idens right now, but at one point a 2 for 24 going into that final home and home in the regular season. Even Austin Shenton, the final week or 2 of the season, was struggling a bit. Obviously, he's come alive in the postseason. But as you said, it was those guys at the bottom of the order. They had Dunn up in the 2 spot with Collins, coupling with him, and that was really effective. Ryan Kreidler down there, Gian Martellini, when he got his at-bats, just seemed to always rake. So those are the guys who have been the catalyst going into the postseason, and guys like Shenton have taken over since.
1-2 to Dunn is popped up on the infield on the left side. Greg Jones now floating into the outfield grass in left field. Has to lean back, but makes the catch as he backtracks a couple of steps for out number 1. He made it look a lot harder than it had to be.
Yeah, certainly an adventure there. And as I look out on the flagpole, no wind out here at Spillane. Bit of a rainy day today, so would expect to see some at some point. But right now, that flag not moving at all, and must have just read it poorly.
The one thing is the cloud cover right now is certainly making it kind of difficult to judge balls in the sky. Similar white-on-white effect. First pitch to Ryan Kreidler is poked down the third base side. Ben Ramirez bobbles it, still going to throw on to first, and still going to get him there. Little dribbler right on the infield grass. Ramirez bobbled it, then came up throwing, was able to gun down Ryan Kreidler, who doesn't have fantastic speed at first. 2 gone in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, it was really close play at first base. But credit Ramirez. I mean, this thing wasn't too hard hit, but because Ramirez is on it all the way, he doesn't have to move much east to west, just north-south. He's able to charge it while he's making that fumble, so all his momentum is still going towards first base and has that opportunity to get the man.
So now back to the top of the order, and Isaac Collins, switch hitter out of Creighton. First pitch to him is poked down the left field line, foul, 0-1. Collins, 1 of 2 hits on the day for the Gatemen. Leadoff single in the 1st inning before he stole a base and then was stranded at 2nd. Bergner already ready to go on the mound, but Collins is going to make him wait. Left-handed bat steps back in, waves the 10 stick over the plate a couple of times. Bergner rocks back, kicks and fires the 0-1. Breaking ball comes inside, 1-1. Collins, as we mentioned, coming into this game, hitting .444 in the postseason, a .308 average in the regular season, what many considered to be an all-star snub in the West Division. Ball and a strike. Bergner's lanky frame comes home. 1-1 is fouled off back and left. A ball and 2 strikes now. Collins out of Maple Grove, Minnesota, 5'10", 185. Heading into his junior season at Creighton. Will be draft eligible next year. He's also got a 1252 postseason OPS. One of the best in the league. Bergner again comes set, the 1-2 home. Fastball down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Second baseman and shortstop at Creighton. Mostly a second baseman, though, but has become the everyday right fielder for the Gatemen of late. Started on June 30th. He has rarely missed a game since then. 2-2. Fastball outside corner, just missed. Bergner started walking off the mound, but the count runs full. Mickey Garcia is refusing to give that outer half to left-handed batters.
Yeah, we can't say enough about it. That's a great pitch on the outside corner, exactly where he wants it. And most of the season, that's strike 3. here in the finals with Garcia behind home plate. Not today.
Full count offering from Bergner is laced into center field, sinking line drive, but it will hold up for John Rave, who trots over to his left, sticks his glove up, and makes the play for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Gatemen in the third. Bergner has settled in. He's faced the minimum in the last 2 innings. We're headed to the top of the 4th, still scoreless, here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Struggling with changes in mood, sleep, stress, or a sense of hopelessness? Finding it hard to be the man you want to be? Get the information and tools you need for mental, emotional, and relational health at massmen.org. Courage starts with the first step.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
Part of the order, 4, 5, 6 due up for the Chatham Anglers in the top of the 4th inning against Ryan Garcia, Colin Simpson, Drew Mendoza, and John Rave. And this is a part of the order that gave Garcia some trouble in the second. They got runners to second and third before Garcia stranded him there.
Yeah, we talk about the Mendoza walk and then the Rave double, and that's been the best scoring chance for either team so far today. That was only with 1 out that Garcia was able to pitch around that.
First pitch breaking ball just missed at the belt to Colin Simpson, the left-handed hitting catcher out of Oklahoma State.
I'd love to know where that one missed. That was a pretty good-looking pitch.
Looked like it might have snuck a little bit too far inside. Here comes the 1-0. Yanked right back up the middle over the head of Ryan Kreidler, who drifted back into the outfield, but it's down for a base hit. So Colin Simpson doing his job. No outs with a base runner at first for Drew Mendoza.
Second straight inning that Garcia has put the leadoff runner on. You can't be living with that all day. Pitching around, we've seen him get out of the jam. As we mentioned, the two in scoring position with 1 out. The leadoff man getting up to second with 1 out in the last inning. At some point, it catches up to you.
He's also now thrown 50 pitches through 3+ innings. So Colin Simpson, not a ton of speed on at first base, would not see him move pretty much in any situation. First pitch to Mendoza, misses low, 1-0. Mendoza, a walk on a full count offering from Garcia his last time up in the second inning, was stranded at third when Garcia locked down. Ball and no strikes. Garcia comes set, belt high, looks at his feet. Now stares his gaze at home plate. 1-0 misses inside, 2-0. Mendoza, big kid, 6'4", out of Mineola, Florida. Left-handed bat for Chatham, and a lineup full of them. Just one right-handed batter in this entire lineup for the Anglers. 2-0 fastball, up and away, 3-0. Spencer Torkelson, the only right-handed batter in the Anglers lineup. Greg Jones, the only other non-lefty. He's a switch hitter. Garcia comes set. His 3-0 home. Fastball right on the outside corner for a strike. 3-1. So Colin Simpson at first after the leadoff single. Still nobody out in this 4th inning. Chatham trying to break up a scoreless tie in the first game of the CCBL Championship Series. Garcia takes a deep breath on the mound, his 3-1. Fastball inside, he walked him.
He's playing with fire here. Puts the first 2 on against a guy coming up now who already has a double off him today. Not the hardest hit double you'll ever see, but it was worth 2 bags nonetheless. Now all of a sudden, if he does that again, a run's coming in.
So John Rave, a little fluttering double down the left field line, his first time at the plate. It was a fastball in the outside corner that he reached out and got, and just put it in the perfect spot. Fell just inside the left field foul line and in front of Jacob Goldfarb. Runners at first and second for Rave, the center fielder out of Illinois State. Another left-hander in this lineup for Chatham. Garcia comes set, looks at second where Colin Simpson stands still. First pitch. Rave shows bunt but pulls it back 1-0. Breaking ball missed up. And Rave, a guy with enough speed that if he gets a good bunt down, he could not only sacrifice the runners over, but it wouldn't even become a sacrifice. Could easily beat out a bunt single. Quarters in now with Rave showing bunt on the first pitch. Here comes the 1-0. Shows it again. Pops it up foul back and left.
Yeah, and I don't know if I keep this on if I'm Coach Holliday here for Chatham, because as good as this offense is, that bottom third has been a black hole for them in the postseason, looking at Ramirez, Jones, and McCann. And now you got to rely on them to just get some productive outs, but even that's been a tough ask. A couple of strikeouts in the 7 and 8 hitters today.
Ramirez and Jones both with strikeouts. Kyle McCann with a leadoff walk in the third inning. 1-1 the count to Rave. Short center fielder out of Normal, Illinois. 1-1 home. Fastball outside, 2-1. Ryan Kreidler was asking for a pickoff attempt at second base. Colin Simpson, not with a ton of speed, just 5'9", 215, doesn't run incredibly well. Going to try to pick him off and get the lead runner, but the count runs to 2 balls and a strike. Two-one. Fastball popped up down the left field line, but foul. And the count runs even at 2-2.
This is where Garcia's got to bear down. His big outs in this game have been the strikeout. And that would be humongous here because a lot of plays will move those guys over and move 2 into scoring position.
Infield playing at double play depth. You'd almost certainly trade 2 outs for a runner at third here if you're the Gatemen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second with nobody gone in the fourth. Ryan Garcia comes set, his 2-2 home. Fastball swung on and missed. He got him. First base not occupied, so it didn't matter that Drew Millis didn't catch it. Big strikeout. The 5th of the day for Ryan Garcia. All of them brought to you by Lang Exafaris and Bully.
Huge. Just pulled the string on him right there. Haven't seen that much or to work too much for Garcia so far in this game. Just 2 of his strikeouts have come off it. That now his 5th of the game, as you mentioned.
So now Ben Ramirez comes to the dish. He struck out in his first at-bat today. Big, tall left-hander out of USC. First pitch, fastball on the inside corner, 0-1. Should say a changeup from the right-hander Garcia. Not a pitch we see him turn to a ton. It's mostly fastball curve.
Yeah, and even the curveball hasn't really dropped in the zone. We've seen it pull down outside of the zone and get a couple guys to chase, but that's been missing up. The changeup and the curveball both been missing up. If he can drop that down about knee level, he'll be okay.
0-1 fastball. Good stop by Drew Millis behind home plate as the heater came in hurling in the dirt. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Ramirez listed as a shortstop on the Chatham roster, but was the everyday third baseman at the beginning of the year for the Anglers and has since spent most of his time at the hot corner. Ball and a strike, the pitch. Breaking ball right on the outer black for a strike, 1-2.
And as I mentioned in the last inning, this could end up like the Katuitt game where he kind of worked through those struggles missing with the breaking ball and got it back for the last couple innings of the outing. And he looked really impressive in that one. If he keeps locating that like he's done this inning, he'll be just as impressive this time.
Tucks a black glove into his chest, comes set belt tie, looks at second base, 1-2. Fastball again in the dirt, again stopped by Millis, and the count runs even. Ramirez just finished up his freshman season out at USC, out of Chula Vista and Eastlake High School. He hit .265 for the Trojans this year in 32 starts. Waves a blue bat over his head. The 2-2 from Garcia is swung on and drilled into left field, but it will hang up for Jacob Goldfarb. Trots back a couple of steps, camps out underneath it, and gloves it for out number 2.
And that's the breaking ball we saw again. I mentioned it early on, I believe as the first batter of the game, and Blake Sable, what ended up being a foul ball. That is him changing the eye level there and keeping guys off balance. You think with the 2 strikes that he's sitting fastball there, Drops a little breaking ball low in the zone and knows the lefty has to go down and get it. Going to induce a lot of fly balls with that.
Another left-handed bat coming to the plate, at least in this AB. Greg Jones, the switch hitter out of UNC Wilmington and Cary, North Carolina. Another young guy on this team. Just finished up his freshman season. First pitch fastball, laced foul down the left field side, 0-1.
And it may sound weird to hear a pitcher try to induce fly balls, but obviously if you're keeping a guy off balance, I mean, those things, that's really weak contact. It's not like they're going to be able to barrel it up when it's down low and away like that.
And some guys are just like that. They are fly ball pitchers. Of course, you'd like to keep the ball on the ground if you're a pitcher, but if that's your bread and butter, then stick to it. It's been pretty much that way for Ryan Garcia thus far. Is 0-1. Fastball clips the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. Jones out of Cary High School, 17th round pick of the Orioles last year, but decided to forego the pros, for at least now. Will play at least 2 years at UNC Wilmington. Switch hitter batting left. Round of applause coming in for Ryan Garcia as he comes set with runners at first and second. 0-2. Fastball just outside. That's a good pitch to the left-handed batter, Greg Jones, because if you get him to chase, he pops it up.
Yeah, and I like that as a bit of a semi-waste pitch. They're thinking about that ball in the dirt that he's featured a lot in this inning. Instead, he keeps it up about belt to letter high, but just outside.
A ball and 2 strikes. Garcia looks back at second. 1-2. Breaking ball came in and hit Greg Jones on the leg, and the bases are loaded.
Definitely not what Ryan Garcia wanted that time. He had Jones right where he wanted him. Placed the waste pitch exactly where he wanted it. Didn't get him to chase, but still had him at 1-2 and a chance to get out of the inning. And this curveball just running too far inside. And put another man on base, load the bases against a guy in McCann who he struggled against the first time up.
Walked him, a leadoff walk in the third inning to McCann, and a guy that can hit the ball for power. He does have the home run in this game. Or excuse me, not in this game, in this postseason. I beg your pardon. He's still got a scoreless game here in the fourth inning. Garcia, the UCLA Bruin. McCann, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. First pitch, fastball low. A ball and no strikes on the 70th pitch of the day for Ryan Garcia. This is something we saw him struggle with in Game 1 against Katuitt in the first round. Was keeping that pitch count low through 90 pitches through 5 innings. 1-0. Fastball just misses the inside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. Another time where Drew Millis set up outside and had to dash over to the inside corner and catch the ball. Just crossed him up.
Yeah, it definitely crossed up. Not where Garcia wanted it, but he shouldn't be punished for that if it's still a strike. This one catches the inside corner. I think the umpire, the other Garcia, a little bit fooled.
So 2-0. Kyle McCann ahead of Ryan Garcia. The pitch. Fastball came up and tipped off the bat. Looks like off the knob of Kyle McCann's bat. 2-1. Was very confused because at first I thought it might have gone away from Drew Millis and a run would have come in to score as it skidded away. Then I thought it would have hit Kyle McCann. Another run would have come in to score, or a run in general would have come in to score on the hit by pitch. But it clicks off the knob of the bat, and the count is 2-1.
Yeah, and that's a big break for Garcia. If he's able to get out of this, he's like the kid who keeps touching the iron, and it's never hot enough to burn him.
Shakes off the first sign from Drew Millis. Now agrees to the second. Catcher from Missouri State sets up outside. 2-1. Hits the spot, but misses the strike zone. 3-1 now.
Say it again. It just hasn't been there.
And the Wareham fans are calling for that to be called a strike, but Garcia has refused to call it a strike all game long. He has been consistent with it.
It's all you can ask for. Personally, I think a lot of these pitches on the corner should have been called strikes, but as long as it's consistent from both sides, which it has been, that's all you can ask for.
3-1 from Garcia, chopped to the left side. Ryan Kreidler comes up, has to double clutch, but his throw on to first gets the Chatham Anglers. A 6-3 put out on a very scary play from Ryan Kreidler, but they leave the bases loaded in the fourth. Garcia continues his wizardry with runners in scoring position. We are headed to the bottom of the fourth inning. Somehow, someway, we still have a scoreless tie in the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
Two, 3, 4 due up for the Wareham Gatemen in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jacob Goldfarb, Austin Shenton, and Jeremy Idens will get things going for the Wareham Bats as they try to break a scoreless tie here in the bottom half of the fourth after an exciting top of the fourth where Ryan Garcia just continues to show the wizardry on the mound, somehow got out of a bases-loaded jam.
Yeah, I don't know how he keeps doing it, and especially that last pitch to McCann. That's a 3-1 pitch, and with the way his control had been going that inning, you're almost treating it like a 3-0. Make him throw you a strike. One pitch, one location's what you're sitting on anyway, and he just puts a check swing on it in a really tough play for Ryan Kreidler. He's got to come in, avoid a base runner. He kind of fumbles it a bit and still gets the throw there just in time. That's a play we're going to look back on if the Gatemen are able to come out with a win in this game as one of the big plays early on.
Double clutched and barely threw out a pretty good runner in Kyle McCann, considering his size at first base on a good stretch from Lyle Lockhart.
And not only did it save a run, but that was the number 9 man, so it saved you from your Sable and your Torkelson in that inning as well, so crucial.
So Jacob Goldfarb, the left-handed hitting left fielder out of Oregon, will be the first batter. First pitch from Austin Bergner, big rip and a miss at a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. Goldfarb today 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first inning after Isaac Collins singled. 0-1, fastball fought off down the left field side and foul. Came in on the hands of Goldfarb. It's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, that fastball was running a bit further inside than Goldfarb would have liked, but he knows that inside corner has been there in the game for Bergner, so he's protecting even more of the plate in the inner half.
Another 0-2 from the lanky right-hander. Fastball misses up and away, 1-2. I should say the first 0-2. Now a ball and 2 strikes to Goldfarb. Left-hander out of Oregon. Oregon versus UNC. Here comes the 1-2 from Bergner. Looping breaking ball in on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Goldfarb didn't think so. The outside corner hasn't been there all day. That one hits the outside black, though, according to the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia. 4th K of the day for Bergner. There's one gone in the 4th.
Yeah, that thing was nestled in there. That's a good call. I don't know what Goldfarb's looking for in particular. Well, I think he was looking for a fastball, but I don't know how you can argue that one too much.
So now Austin Shenton comes to the plate. First pitch from Bergner. Swung on, ripped back foul into the chain link fence behind home. 0-1, and the last time these two squared off, not these two teams, these two foes, the pitcher Bergner and the hitter Austin Shenton, it was a duel for the ages. 12-pitch at-bat that Bergner eventually won with a strikeout swinging of Shenton. 0-1 breaking ball, again on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. We thought the Gatemen were going to be able to get to Bergner early on, a leadoff single from Isaac Collins, but since then it's been smooth sailing. 0-2, yanked down the left field line, but foul by Shenton. Still no balls and 2 strikes. In the second inning, after a 4-batter first, he faced the minimum on a double play to end the inning from Lyle Lockhart. Faced the minimum again in the third and has one out here on the first batter in the 4th. And an 0-2 count against the Cape League's best hitter left in contention in Austin Shenton. No balls and 2 strikes. Bergner comes set. His pitch home is popped up foul back in left. And he stays alive on an elevated fastball.
Yeah, and if Bergner can keep going like this, he's absolutely dealing right now. You could get 7, 8, maybe even 9 out of him. Again, we saw Tristan English go into the 9th yesterday with over 100 pitches. He's right at around that mark, just over 50 now. This will be the 55th.
No balls and 2 strikes. Bergner shakes his head yes to the sign from Simpson. The pitch home is a fastball yanked back toward us again, and it's still 0-2. Shenton has fought hard up to 5 pitches in this AB, as we mentioned. A 12 or 13 pitch at bat his last time at the dish. Jeremy Idens, the center fielder, again waits on deck. 0-2. Fastball swung on, chopped to the shortstop. Greg Jones corrals it. Couple of pumps over. His throw is high, and it will be safe. Austin Shenton legs out the reaching first base. We'll see how that's scored. Likely a throwing error. E6 on Greg Jones. He's had a problem at shortstop all season long. We've seen him be placed in a couple of different positions, but he has really struggled with errors. That is error number 13 on the year for Greg Jones between shortstop and center field.
Yeah, and I mean, this is as routine as they come, and you love that. If you're Bergner, the pitch that he locates with 2 strikes gets weak contact, and that's a huge break for the Gatemen just to get a man on against this kid.
So now out of the stretch for the second time today. First pitch to Jeremy Idens, fouled off the end of the bat. 0-1 to the UCLA center fielder, who's 0 for 1 today. Popped up in the infield to Greg Jones, the shortstop, his last time up.
And of course, by this kid, I mean Austin Bergner, who is older than me. Just thought I should mention that, JD. Because we've got a lot that were younger throughout the year.
At least for you.
Yeah. Just about 3 months, so not too much.
0-1, tip foul again, 0-2.
But he's only going into his junior year.
Same as I am. A couple of ACC foes. Bergner at UNC. Me at Syracuse, although Syracuse doesn't have a baseball program, so won't be seeing any of Bergner this season unless he makes the trek up for a UNC basketball game, which is possible, but seems very unlikely.
Can't rule it out.
He comes set, belt tie, with the tan glove in front of his chest. The 0-2. Fastball, tip foul down the third base side, so Jeremy Idens now down 0-2, but has fouled off a couple of 2-strike pitches, just like Austin Shenton did.
This could be a big at-bat for him. Just 167 here in the postseason. He's starting to scuffle again. Hasn't looked great at the plate the last 2 games or so, and so far today, big chance to give them a lift after the error.
At one point hitting .390, then dipped into low 300s at the end of the year. Bergner comes set, the 0-2. Fastball chop foul down the first base side, bounding over the head of first base coach Matt Miller. Still no balls and 2 strikes to Idens. Ryan Garcia has pretty much matched Bergner pitch for pitch in a sense, in terms of neither has given up a run thus far. However, Garcia with those long laboring innings and leaving guys on base, a lot more pitches than Bergner has thrown.
Yeah, and it feels like Chatham is just ready to burst offensively. Haven't got that sense so far from the Gatemen because of how good Bergner has been. But you never know. Sometimes it takes that little divine intervention like the error.
0-2 ripped into left field over the head of the shortstop, Greg Jones, and then the left fielder bumbles it. But Blake Sable able to pick it up. Runners at first and second on a 1-out single from Jeremy Idens. Here comes Drew Millis with a runner in scoring position for just the second time today for the Gatemen.
And that's a positive sign for Idens because he hasn't barreled too many up in this postseason. He definitely did there. Just a solid single, but you'll take that right now. It's just the 3rd hit of the game off of Bergner.
So now the switch-hitting catcher, Drew Millis, will come in. He'll bat from the left side. Batted from the left side his first time around against Bergner, and he's 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout to begin the 2nd inning. 5th man in the order, Gian Martellini, waits on deck behind him. Surrey State Bear waves the bat over the plate. Bergner checks back at second, first pitch. Breaking ball up and away. Good stab by Colin Simpson behind the dish. 1-0. And it almost seems like Bergner's body language isn't great right now after he's given up these first 2 base runners. And sometimes with those high-level guys that expect so much out of themselves, you'll see this a bit. An error from Greg Jones and a single given up to Jeremy Idens on an 0-2 pitch. You'll see him kind of unravel a bit. We'll have to see what Bergner comes and brings in the next couple of at-bats. Behind Drew Millis 1-0, the pitch home. Breaking ball low. And the count runs to 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy with himself out there. And with a guy who's a flamethrower like that with real great swing and miss stuff, those guys, if they're looking at stats, they're looking at whip. And it's not great in this inning. Has already put 2 guys on. So he definitely feels uncomfortable whenever there's guys on base.
He's working from the first base side of the rubber. The 2-0 to Millis. Big swing and a miss. Probably the hardest we've seen Drew Millis swing all season at a fastball, 2-1.
I thought the helmet was going to fall off that time. He was really sitting on it, and looked like he got the pitch where he wanted, just missed it. That was a fastball in the zone.
Millis first team All-Missouri Valley Conference this season at Missouri State. 13 doubles, 2 triples, and 7 home runs. Hasn't flashed the extra base power yet on the Cape. 2-1 breaking ball low, stopped by Simpson in the dirt. And the count runs to 3 balls and a strike.
And even though Bergner's been a little wild in this inning, I think you still see the big swing again from Drew Millis. 3-1. If he gets a fastball that catches enough of the inside corner, he's going to try and barrel things up. But again, he doesn't really like it too far inside.
He's definitely got the green light here. 3 balls and a strike. Runners at first and second for the Gatemen in a scoreless ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now Bergner steps off the rubber and steps back on. Tall and slender right-hander out of UNC. Waiting for the sign from Colin Simpson. Gets one he likes. Comes set, chest high is 3-1. Fastball is driven high and deep into right field. The right fielder Torkelson back to the track, to the wall, just in front of the wall. He makes the catch. Both runners will tag up. So productive out for Drew Millis, but he nearly just left the yard on a fastball from Bergner.
Oh, man. That is one that might come back at Drew Millis. He might lose some sleep over that. He gets that pitch. The fastball low and in, that he's able to barrel it up, and you saw with him leaving the batter's box, it looked like he thought it was going out. We thought it was going out. Torkelson just kept drifting back and has to reach up right before the wall. You see he's feeling for the wall and still has to put almost full extension over him. Man, that's a big out.
So now runners at second and third. First pitch to Gian Martellini. Fastball low, pops out of the glove of Simpson, but rolls right in front of him, 1-0. Martellini, if he can do what he did the last time, will score at least 1 run, a single his last time up in the second.
That was a hard hit ball, one of the hardest hits we've seen off Bergner so far today. I thought it could have even stretched into a double, but Rave played it well in center.
1-0, fastball rides outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Big pick by Colin Simpson that time.
Pitch crossed him up, he was setting up inside, then that fastball coming in the 94-95 range rides outside. That is not an easy play, especially for a guy that doesn't play catcher every day and has played a lot of outfield this season for the Chatham Anglers.
He's reaching across his body. He's almost reaching behind that knee to go and get it. That would have brought Shenton home.
2 balls and no strikes. Bergner comes set, the pitch. Fastball tipped foul by Gian Martellini, and the count is 2-1. Martellini, the DH out of Boston College, 1 for 1 with a single before he was doubled up back in the second inning. That was before this inning in the Jeremy Idens single, the last hit for the Gatemen. Idens at second, Shenton at third. Shenton an average runner, Idens slightly above average on the base paths.
And both very smart base runners, which I think comes into play with how many times the Gatemen have scored off wild pitches and pass balls this year with Shenton at third. They both have very high baseball IQ.
The 2-1, fastball chop foul down the third base side into the Chatham dugout. And the count is even. 2s across the board now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Bergner trying to do his best Ryan Garcia impression and get out of this with a long fly ball that moves up both runners, and one of the most dangerous hitters the Gatemen have with men in scoring position and men on base up at the plate. He's 1 pitch away from getting out of it.
Martellini, excellent power, the stocky catcher from BC. 2-2 from Bergner, hit right back up the middle. Gloved by the second baseman, Bush. Fading throw, got him at first. A dribbler that was not well hit from Martellini, but had to pull Bush in toward the second base bag. He had to fade on the throw, but made a nice one to first base. And now Bergner, channeling his inner Ryan Garcia, gets out of the inning unscathed. We're through 4 here at Spillane Field, headed to the top of the 5th, still a scoreless tie in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series.
Are you hungry?
Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program. Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Ryan Garcia back to the bump for his 5th inning of work as we head to the top of the 5th. Here from Spillane Field alongside Cameron Stewart, I'm J.D. Rachi, bringing you the first game of the CCBL Championship Series, and it won't be an easy part of the order for Ryan Garcia. Blake Sable, Spencer Torkelson, and Michael Bush due up for the Chatham Anglers. Gatemen stranded runners at second and third of the last half inning. Last time Chatham came to the plate, they stranded their bases loaded. First pitch from Garcia to Sable. Fastball right on the outside, black for a strike, 0-1. Garcia north of 70 pitches on the evening. Here comes 76. The 0-1 is fouled off back into the screen behind home plate. 0-2. Sable's 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking in the first before bouncing out to the second baseman Oliver Dunn in the third inning. Waves a blue bat over the plate with red batting gloves. The 0-2 from Garcia. Breaking ball doesn't even make it to the dish. Just hits right in front of the cutout in front of home plate in the dirt. 1-2. Sable, the former Gateman, trying to do something that'll help his new team, the Chatham Anglers, get out in front of game 1. 1-2 breaking ball, swung on and missed. Nasty, nasty curveball from Ryan Garcia. That is strikeout number 6 for him on the day. All of them brought to you by Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
That's beautiful. That breaking pitch has started to rise like a phoenix in the last 2 innings for Garcia. No pun intended. It was actually rising a bit too much early in the game. Now he's starting to bring it down, and that's been the key to his turnaround so far.
To have another good couple of pitches here against Spencer Torkelson. First pitch to the big right-handed bat out of ASU, misses outside, 1-0. Torkelson's 0 for 2 on the day. Fly out into right field, and Isaac Collins back in the first inning. 1-0, fastball pump foul down the right field side. It will get out of play as Lyle Lockhart gives it a look down the first base line. After that, popped up into foul territory down the left field line, but Ryan Kreidler was the one to glove it. The shortstop out of UCLA. Torkelson spent the early part of the summer with the Anglers before then going to Team USA and then coming back to Chatham. 1-1 fastball just misses inside, 2-1. Mickey Garcia has a tight strike zone as he has had all day. Rarely have we seen called strikes on either of the corners. Here's the 2-1 from Garcia. Slider in there for a strike, 2-2.
Torkelson, one of those now rare returners for Team USA. You see only a couple of them in the league per year. I think Torkelson might have been the only one of any note. Of course, we expected Bryant Packard to come back, but caught illness when they were playing in Havana, so he had to be sent back home. But it's not often anymore.
2-2 fastball high to Torkelson. The count runs full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The rising sophomore out of Petaluma, California. Payoff pitch from Garcia. Slider yanked down the left field line, and it will fall fair and roll into the corner. Torkelson around first, chugging for second base, and he will pull in standing up with a 1-out double for Chatham.
And this is just great hitting by a great hitter. You knew you weren't going to keep him down for long. The slider does stay low and in, but doesn't break too far enough down. Torkelson's a big boy, but he can go down there and get it. and doesn't try to do too much with it, just barrels it up. And he knows when it's slowing in, he's got that pull power to left field, and it works out there for extra bases.
Third time today now that the Anglers have a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs in an inning. First time in the second, stranded runners at second and third, and then in the fourth, stranded the bases loaded. Now they'll throw over to first on an appeal. They said that Torkelson didn't touch the bag, but the first base umpire, Joe Caraco, says he did and calls him safe. So now Michael Bush, the left-handed hitting second baseman out of UNC, made a great play to end the last half inning defensively, strides in. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out thus far. First pitch from Ryan Garcia to Bush, breaking ball at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Bush struck out swinging in the first and then grounded out to the second baseman, Oliver Dunn, in the third inning. We're here in the top of the fifth, Chatham threatening again for the fourth time today with a runner in scoring position. No balls and a strike. Garcia comes set, bell tie. Is 0-1, is chop foul toward the first base dugout. Nice little defensive play from Don Shenton, head coach of the Gatemen, down that first base side as the count runs to 0-2.
Still got it. Donnie boy, still got it.
Hasn't played baseball in a while, at least competitively.
Former national champion, though, at Cal State Fullerton. First one for the Titans.
Trying to bring a championship here to Wareham for the first time since 2012. The 0-2. Breaking ball outside corner, can't get it. Throw nearly trickles into center field as they tried to backpick Torkelson down the line at second base, but it's gloved and stopped by Ryan Kryler. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
And Drew Millis can thank Mr. and Mrs. Torkelson for making Spencer eat his groceries. 6'2", over 200 pounds. That frame is the reason why that ball didn't get into center field. It was behind the runner who was sliding in, but it hits those big thighs when he's sliding into second base and keeps the ball in front of him, or else he can possibly pop up and head on over to third with less than 2 outs.
Here comes the 1-2 from Garcia. Fastball outside, 2-2. Another big guy in Michael Bush at the dish, 6'1", 210, but built like a linebacker. Waves a blue bat over the plate as he takes a deep breath in the left-handed batter's box. Garcia, the right-hander on the mound, comes set, bell tie, checks back at second once, now twice. The 2-2 up and in. Had to bend out of the way, did Bush, and the count runs full.
This is a count that has not been kind to Ryan Garcia today. A couple of walks on the 3-2. Hasn't gotten a strikeout on the payoff pitch just yet.
We saw Torkelson run the count full and rip a double down the left field line to get this inning started. Here comes the payoff pitch from Garcia. Chopped foul down the first base side past the Chatham first base coach. And the count is still full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And while this is going to be Garcia's last start of the season, you're going to air him out for as long as you can. This still might be his last inning. This next pitch going to be number 91. Don't know how much further he's going to be able to go.
And you only got 5 innings out of him the first go-around against Catuita as well. We are expected to see Easton Lucas first out of the bullpen. 3-2, swung on, tipped into the glove by Michael Bush, and another gigantic strikeout. Strikeout number 7 for Garcia, 2 gone in the 5th.
He just keeps coming back with it. You know, he's leaving guys stranded on base. As I mentioned, he's been tough on 3-2. It's been tough on him, 3-2, all day long. Goes elevated this time, which we haven't seen him do too much with 2 strikes.
He's only given up 3 hits through 5 innings, but he's had a number of base runners on, 2 walks, a hit batsman. I should say 3 walks in this game for Garcia. First pitch to Colin Simpson, chopped to the first base side, glove by Lyle Lockhart. He'll tap first base, 3 unassisted, and again Garcia gets out of a runner in scoring position jam. Spencer Torkelson, a 1-out double in the 5th, but after that, 2 straight outs from Ryan Garcia. It is scoreless through 5 for him. We're headed to the home half of the 5th. Gatemen coming to the bats, trying to break a scoreless tie when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs. The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Lyle Lockhart, the switch-hitting first baseman out of Houston, made the last out defensively for the Gatemen. Now he'll lead it off with the bat in hand for Wareham. Still a scoreless tie here in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series between the Gatemen and the Chatham Anglers. Alongside Cameron Stewart, I'm J.D. Rachi. It's been a battle of the arms thus far. We thought it could be this way. Ryan Garcia has gotten out of a number of sticky situations, and Austin Bergner has been just as impressive on the mound for Chatham.
Yeah, both teams' aces going at it. Heavy fastball pitchers against heavy fastball hitting teams. And I expected, obviously, a pitcher's duel, but I thought one of these teams with such great offenses could manufacture a run or two at this point in the game. I mean, we're halfway through the ball game, but both pitchers have been as good as advertised.
The offenses were certainly well-powered all season. Gatemen, especially at the early part of the year, a lot of home runs. Thinking back to the days of Andrew Vaughn, Parker Phillips, Bryant Packard. Cooled off in the middle part of the season, then in the late part, probably the latter quarter or so of the season, really picked it up, started hitting a lot of home runs. One guy that has done that is Lyle Lockhart. He's got 2 home runs in the past 2 weeks or so as he comes to the dish.
Yeah, and I think he's actually one of the best fastball hitters in this lineup for the Gatemen. He's seen a heavy dose of breaking balls this year. That's why the average has been down, but he can really rake on fastballs.
First pitch fastball on the outside corner for a strike. First time we can say that pretty much all day from Mickey Garcia, the home plate umpire. It's 0-1 to Lockhart, switch hitter batting left. Here comes the 0-1 from Bergner. This one on the inside corner for a strike, 0-2.
We saw him do this same sequence to Drew Millis earlier in the game in his first at-bat in the second inning. Starts him with a fastball outside, then inside, both called strikes. Ended up getting the K that time.
Got the K on a breaking ball. Here comes the 0-2 from Bergner. It is the breaking ball, but it misses up and away. Gateman chants coming from the the first base side. Jackson Coots leads them from the dugout. The 1-2 from Bergner. Double leg hitch. He pitches a fastball directly by Lyle Lockhart. Big swing and a miss from the Houston Cougar. Out number 1 comes by way of the K, the 5th of the day for Bergner.
And that is a deceptive leg kick. He doesn't bust it out every time, and it's almost close to a balk, but it's deceptive for the hitters looking at it. They get distracted by that leg hitch, almost like we saw from Paul Bird about a decade ago with the pumps with his glove. It's just one more thing to worry about before the pitch even comes in.
First pitch fastball to Oliver Dunn on the inside corner, 0-1. And if he does touch down that second time, it would be a balk, but he has not done it thus far. 0-1 yanked right down the right field line. It will roll all the way to the wall. Torkelson chases it there. Oliver Dunn into second. He's looking up, but a big, strong throw in from Torkelson will leave him there. A double for Oliver Dunn. That's how you get out of the slump if you're the Utah Ute.
And that's the hardest hit ball we've seen from the Gatemen all day. Even that near homer by Millis wasn't as hard hit as this. This was an absolute rope. And he's sitting on the fastball. It's a bit outside, but he is able to protect that part of the plate and rip it where the power is for him. Pull side down the right field line.
That was the 75th pitch of the day for Austin Bergner. And as we mentioned in the pregame show, Chatham's going to ride him as much as possible because the weakness of this team is the bullpen.
We've seen, as I mentioned right when we came in the open today, that's where the Gatemen have beaten them this year. The 4-0 regular season record, it's been against the bullpen.
Now a fastball comes in, and Ryan Kreidler wears it on his sleeve.
That
is
can't
a
feel good.
nasty heater coming in from Austin Bergner. Now runners at first and second for the top of the order and Isaac Collins.
Can't feel good, but you'll take it. Even though Kreidler has been great in this postseason, you get him on base without him even having to swing the bat, and you flip it back up to the top of the order and Isaac Collins, who already does have a hit off Bergner today.
Single up the middle in the first inning, although a similarly hit ball would probably produce 2 outs here. It was not well hit up the middle, and now the Anglers are playing at double play depth, with both middle infielders pinched in toward the second base bag. First pitch to the Creighton Blue Jay batting left. Switch hitter. Called strike on the inside corner. Should say on the outside corner, I beg your pardon, 0-1.
I like that pitch, but that looks like it was out of the wheelhouse for Mickey Garcia most of the day.
It has started to expand. The strike zone has over the last inning and a half or so for Garcia. But again, he's kept it consistent. Even as it has expanded, it has been consistent for both teams. 0-1 from Bergner. Fastball inside, 1-1. One thing that we've seen today is fantastic defensive play from both catchers. Colin Simpson and Drew Millis, neither have let a ball get by them. No wild pitches or pass balls thus far.
And I think even more impressive from the Chatham side, because we've talked about it, Simpson is not an everyday catcher. Drew Millis, we've seen the exploits all year. He's the best defensive catcher the Gatemen have. But especially on that Wareham side, with all those guys being in scoring position today, they've been flocked at second and third base. He has been crucial.
Simpson, the catcher out of Oklahoma State, catches at school, but has done a lot of left field this summer for Chatham. 1-1 from Bergner. Fastball yanked toward the shortstop side. Greg Jones will throw to third, but it will pull the third baseman off the bag. The third baseman, Ben Ramirez, could not keep his toe on the pillow. Oliver Dunn slides in safely, and the bases are loaded. If you're going to make that throw to third, you better make sure that it is a good one. And Greg Jones pulled Ben Ramirez off the bag.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Greg Jones, not a good defensive shortstop. That's even worse than the error that he had earlier to get Austin Shenton on base. You could have an out at first base. You can try this double play at second, but you're not going to get it there. But he goes risky, wants to get that lead runner and keep the force in, and just doesn't get it. Like you said, you need to have a good throw over there, and Jones is on the run when he's making this, and that could be a huge mistake, because that is an out. When that ball is hit, and Bergner's thinking that, when that ball is hit weak contact, that needs to be an out for the Anglers, one way or the other.
So now bases loaded for Jacob Goldfarb, the left-handed hitting left fielder out of Oregon. First pitch, fastball ripped on and missed, 0-1. The official scoring will be a fielder's choice for Isaac Collins to reach first base, but then Oliver Dunn only moves up to third on an E6 on another throwing error from Greg Jones, the second of the day. No balls and a strike. Bergner comes set, chest high. The pitch home. Big changeup, ripped on and missed by Goldfarb down in the zone. Quickly, 0-2.
It seems like he's only picking on Goldfarb today with that breaking stuff. We haven't seen it featured too much from Bergner, but he's gotten Goldfarb to strike out twice on it and looks to get him again.
Last time he had Goldfarb down 0-2 through a perfect breaking ball in the outside corner for a called strike 3. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the fifth, the 0-2 to Goldfarb. Fastball up and away, a ball and 2 strikes.
And this obviously humongous. If he gets the strikeout here, puts 2 outs. The bases are still loaded, but with 2 outs, there's a lot more you can work with.
Bergner up to 82 pitches on the afternoon now. We saw Tristan English, not even an everyday pitcher, go over 100 yesterday in the series-clinching win over the Brewster Whitecaps at Stony Brook for Chatham. A ball and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, bottom 5. Goldfarb, the left-handed hitter, choking up. The 1-2. Misses outside. Took something off it. And the count runs even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's tried that breaking pitch a couple more times. I expect him to come back with a fastball here. If I'm Goldfarb, that's what I'm sitting on. That's still his best pitch. And he wants to get over and not run it to a 3-ball count. Not with the bases loaded anyway.
Oliver Dunn at third. Ryan Kreidler at second. Isaac Collins at first. The 2-2 low. And the count runs full.
And it was the fastball, but when we've seen the fastball miss today, that's where it's been, low and into left-handed hitters. Huge
full
pitch.
Count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom 5 with 1 out and a scoreless tie in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series. Bergner comes set. Takes a deep breath, the 3-2. Fastball popped up into shallow center field. John Rave racing in. The second baseman, Bush, though, backs up on it. They'll try to tag from third, but Oliver Dunn will actually wait there on a good throw coming in for Michael Bush. And not a productive out number 2 for Jacob Goldfarb. Base is still loaded with 2 gone.
Can't get much more frustrating if you're the Gatemen. And Jacob Goldfarb, who has looked silly against Bergner today, but worked a very good at-bat that time. Worked him to 3-2. Sends it out to the outfield, and so many times if you're sending him out to the outfield with the bases loaded and less than 2 outs, that's going to get a run home. But the second baseman out there makes a good play on it, doesn't have to reach too far back, so Dunn not testing him by tagging up.
So now the pitching coach will come out for Chatham. Bergner has loaded the bases for the first time today here in the 5th inning. Austin Shenton coming to the plate. He has reached once today on a throwing error from Greg Jones, but he is coming into this game hitting over 600 on the season. Zach Knoll is warming in the bullpen. Left-hander, so you could possibly see them turn to lefty here to go against the left-hander Shenton, but they will not. They will trust Austin Bergner to go once more. Knoll, the left-hander out of Oregon, transferring to Point Loma Nazarene University next season.
And that's not uncommon to see a left-hander warming up against the Gatemen, because they have really struggled against southpaws this year. We've seen a couple teams so far in this postseason start lefties or have a lefty first man out of the bullpen.
First pitch to Austin Shenton, nub foul off the end of the bat toward the Chatham Anglers dugout. 0-1.
But if you're the Gatemen, even though that bullpen is suspect, like we've said, you really think you got to cash in here. You got your best hitter at the plate. Yeah, there's 2 outs, but the base is loaded in such a big game. This seems like the time.
Shenton is 0 for 2 today. The 0-1 is yanked high and deep into right center field. At the track, at the wall, Torkelson reaches up, and it's down off the wall. 2 runs are coming in to score. Here comes Isaac Collins. He is in safely, and it's a bases-clearing double, and the Gatemen take a 3-0 lead.
Man.
Austin Shenton, the playoff hero once again for Wareham. My goodness, that ball was given a ride.
Death, taxes, and Austin Shenton getting the big hit. I thought that ball was going to get out of here right off the bat, and it had a chance. But obviously really rangy out there. Big Spencer Torkelson plays it well. He almost comes down with a spectacular, potentially game-saving catch. But I think it's when he bangs into that wall that the ball comes out. We're seeing it on the replay here. See if we can get a good look at it.
First pitch to Jeremy Idens, a called strike on the outside corner.
And no, he just missed it. His momentum takes him into the wall, but the ball is out before that.
So 0-1 to Idens, still a runner in scoring position at second base. Austin Shenton with about average speed out there at second. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball yanked right at the third baseman, Ben Ramirez, who gloves it for out number 3. But how about a 3-run bases-clearing double with 2 outs for Austin Shenton? The Gatemen a 3-0 lead, the first lead for either team today here in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series. We are headed to the top of the 6th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden-fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Just like in Game 1 versus Cotuit, Ryan Garcia exits the game after the 5th inning, It'll be the left-hander out of Pepperdine, another all-star, and Easton Lucas into the game for the Gatemen. This pitching change is brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day, we are always welcome to the public, so go get to the point. The left-hander Lucas got into a little bit of trouble in that Cotuit game, but this season has been nearly untouchable aside from maybe 2 outings. That Cotuit game, he did end up giving up 1 run, but he went 3 strong innings before that, gave up just 3 hits, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks on the season, a 2.28 ERA in 7 games with 2 starts, 20 hits in 23 2/3 innings, 8 walks, and 17 strikeouts. And even that, our ERA is a bit of an outlier, considering he gave up 4 earned runs in just 1 inning against Brewster.
Yeah, I mean, he's been steady as a rock all year. The numbers don't lie when it comes to Easton Lucas. I think one of the best long relievers in the bullpen, in the league for any team, and we've seen some really good ones like Steven Schock and Mitchell Miller. We have seen it, Dylan Thomas for Hyannis, to name a few. But this kid is a guy who's got major league stuff. He's growing into the body still, and he could end up being a crafty left-hander for years to come.
So the left-hander Easton Lucas out, relieving Ryan Garcia. Final line on Garcia, we can give it to you. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts, although he did scatter around 3 walks and a hit batsman through those first 5. I also like this move to the bullpen for the left-hander Lucas, not only because he's just been great all year, but also because there are so many left-handers in this Chatham lineup. 6 lefties, a righty, and a switch hitter in this lineup for the Anglers.
And they haven't seen Lucas all year.
First pitch of the outing for Easton Lucas, firm fastball on the inside corner, a strike to Drew Mendoza, 0-1. Mendoza has walked twice in his first 2 ABs. 2 of the 3 walks distributed by Ryan Garcia were Mendoza's. 0-1 fastball just misses low, 1-1. Gatemen a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 6th after a bases-clearing 2-out, 2-strike double from Austin Shenton. 1-1. Slider away, 2-1. Mendoza, the left-handed hitting DH out of Florida State. Anglers have gotten runners in scoring position in 4 of the 5 innings today. The 2-1. Slider away again, 3-1. Every inning but the first, Chatham has had a runner at least at second base, had a runner at second and third in the second, a runner at second in the third, bases loaded in the 4th, and another runner at second in the 5th. 3-1 from Lucas. Fastball low, and he walked him. Drew Mendoza on base for the 3rd time today with his 3rd walk of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, just a patient eye at the plate. Ryan Garcia didn't have the answer for him, and now he draws a walk against Easton Lucas as well. Certainly something that'll keep you in the lineup. But obviously, still very early on in the outing. Hasn't gotten a man out. You got a left-hander in the box against a ground ball pitcher. That's something Easton Lucas likes to see.
Double play certainly in order here, and the Gatemen will play John Rave up the middle at double play depth. Although Rave has excellent speed, it'll be tough to double him off. First pitch breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner on a slider, 0-1. So we saw curveball from the right-hander Garcia, now we're seeing slider from the left-hander Easton Lucas. A couple of different breaking balls coming at Chatham Anglers hitters in the early part of this game. 0-1. Fastball outside and high, 1-1.
It'll be interesting to see how long Lucas goes in this game. Obviously, effectiveness will be the first judge of that. But again, this is the last time these guys are going out there. You mentioned it, the lefty-on-lefty matchup. There's no other lefty really for the Gatemen to turn to in this bullpen.
1-1 is yanked over the head. No, it's caught by... it's caught by Lyle Lockhart. Was it a chopper? They'll say it was a chopper at first base. So it chopped almost over the head. A leaping effort to grab it, pull it down, and then tag first base by Lyle Lockhart. Moving up to second on the play is Drew Mendoza.
Defense pays, man. Lyle Lockhart, we talked about it all year, how solid he is defensively at first base. A lot of confidence out there as well. Reaching over the head to get that one, and even thought about the double play. They would have needed a tag down there at second base. Wise for him not to throw it. They would not have got him, and risk the man moving up to third potentially on an error.
So now Ben Ramirez, the left-handed hitter out of USC, strides in. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a flyout. First pitch from Easton Lucas. That one on a curveball hits the inside corner for a strike, 0-1.
couple of times he's gotten it for a called strike, which isn't necessarily what he likes. He would like a swing and a miss on the curveball, but he keeps leaving it upstairs.
So again, now 5 out of 6 innings where the Anglers have gotten a runner into scoring position. Drew Mendoza lurking on at second base. Lucas out of the stretch, looks back at second. Looks there again. Here's his 0-1. Slider, big, rip and a miss from Ben Ramirez on a disappearing pitch into the right-handed batter's box in the dirt, 0-2.
And that's picture perfect what he wants from all of his breaking balls. Down below the shins and get a guy to swing and miss at it.
Left-hander from Simi Valley, California. 6'3", 185, heading into his junior season with the Pepperdine Waves. 0-2 from Lucas. Chopper to the third base side. Austin Shenton charges. Sidearm throw to first in time. No advance from the runner at second, Drew Mendoza. 2 gone in the inning.
And those choppers down to third base when you got to come on the infield grass are always tricky. But especially today, we've talked about a lot of doctoring needed to be done to this field before the game with the rain coming down hard this morning here in Wareham. And you got to credit the Gatemen coaching staff what they did today. Matt Miller, Don Sneddon, and Jim Lawler were out there as well. A lot of temporary dirt put out there and on the infield gravel. Can't say enough for getting this field ready to play.
So now Greg Jones comes to the dish for the first time today from the right-hand side. First pitch to him is a call and strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Switch hitter out of UNC Wilmington was turned around on the left side against Garcia twice. Struck out swinging in the second, then was hit by a pitch to load the bases in the fourth. Trying to make up for 2 errors in the field, one of them instrumental in the Gatemen scoring runs. All 3 runs against Austin Bergner in that last half inning unearned.
Yeah, I mean, can't say enough about it. Couple errors today. Thought the first time when he allowed Shenton to get on that would be enough for a rally, but that one that you just mentioned, not getting done over there at third base, huge mental mistake.
0-1 down and away. Drew Millis, though, likes the spot from Easton Lucas. Points back to him. A ball and a strike.
I guess you call that a physical mistake as well. The throw was still offline. On all fronts, a mistake from Greg Jones.
First and second, he got a ground ball right to him, tried to turn to third to get the lead runner, and threw wide of the bag. 1-1, right on the inner black on a nice pitch. Looping, breaking ball, 1-2.
And remember on that Jones play, there was an out in the inning. It wasn't no outs, there was one. So the way you think, if you just get that out over at first, it doesn't matter much that the guy's at third base with 2 men out. But you gift them an extra base runner there.
And then Austin Shenton rips the double out to deep right center field, clears the bases, and gives the Gatemen a 3-0 lead. The 1-2 from Lucas. Breaking ball chopped foul down the left field side. And we'll do it again at 1-2.
And this obviously really big for Lucas, even though it's the bottom of the order here. For the Anglers, you're still working in a shutdown inning in your first inning of relief. And already with a man in scoring position, the Anglers got that leadoff man on and to put him down to second. If you can keep another 0 up there, that's massive for your confidence going forward.
Greg Jones, although slight of frame, 3 home runs on the season with 9 RBIs. He's kind of split time between center field and shortstop, as well as very top of the order and very bottom of the order. He's in the 8-hole today. The 1-2 from Lucas. Fastball low, blocked by Millis. No advance from Mendoza, 2-2. Lucas in that game against Katuitt. 3 picture-perfect innings. Allowed a base runner in each of them, but got out of trouble. Then got into a little bit more trouble, put the first 2 on in the 9th. Joy Barron gives up a 2-run homer to Peyton Burdick. Gets very, very close. They load the bases again, but again, the Gatemen squeak out a win here at Spillane, where they have been so good this season. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch home from Easton Lucas, popped up foul. Back and right, and we'll do it again. Gatemen this year, 17-6 at Spillane Field. They are 12-10-2 away from it. You could say 12-11-2 away from it if you factor in the loss at Dunkin' Donuts Park against the YD Red Sox in Hartford, Connecticut.
And all breaking stuff here from Lucas with 2 strikes. He knows that's the bread and butter. 4-pitch guy coming out of the bullpen. You don't see too many of those at any level.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Check back at second. The pitch to Jones, right on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Lucas's first strikeout of the day. Again, the Gatemen strand a runner for the Anglers in scoring position at second base. That strikeout brought to you by Lang, XFRs, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. We are through 5.5 here at Spillane Field. 3-0 Gatemen as Wareham comes back to the plate when we come back here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Established in 1877, TM Riders, a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosa.
Left-hander Knoll after recording the first two out of the innings in order. 1-0 from Knoll. Fastball tipped foul off of Oliver Dunn's back, it looked like. He grimaces in pain a bit. 1-1.
Yeah, that probably hurt, and I think it might have hurt his ego a bit too, because that was the pitch very similar to the one that he roped the double on. So he knows that he just missed one there.
Done with one home run on the season. Actually came against these Anglers opening day at Veterans Field in Chatham. Very windy day. Ball we thought was going to hang up easily for a pop-up ended up leaving the yard. 1 ball and 1 strike. Short lead for Lyle Lockhart on at first base, being held there by Kyle McCann. Here comes the 1-1 from the lefty Knoll, I beg your pardon. Slider misses low, and outside, 2-1 on a good stop from the catcher, Colin Simpson, who has still not yet a single ball get by him.
And that is something tomorrow we know that these teams are going to have to deal with over there at Veterans Field in Chatham, is that wind. The wind was blowing out the first time, saw a couple of homers, but our most recent time, it was vicious coming in.
2-1 fastball right down the middle for a strike, 2-2. We want to apologize, folks, for a couple of technical difficulties. We are back up and running at full steam ahead in this Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. Lyle Lockhart dancing there. Nolan not paying him much mind. The 2-2. Chop foul back in right. And we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gatemen up 3-0 in the 6th. The pitching has been fantastic for Wareham thus far, and has been almost nearly as perfect for the Chatham Anglers, aside from the 3-run double from Shenton. 2-2 popped up foul back in left again. And Oliver Dunn continues to fight with an even 2 balls, 2 strikes against him.
This is certainly bumping up the pitch count for Knoll at 19 and counting after a quick first 2 outs.
2-2 from Knoll. Fastball down and away, and the count runs full.
And obviously that's what you want to do, especially the first time around against a reliever like this, to see what he's got. It's a guy who hasn't faced the Gatemen this year and hasn't been in the Cape League all that long. So you definitely want to get a feel for what he's got.
Knoll, no stranger to summer leagues. This is the 3rd time he has played in a summer league this in his career. 3-2, up and away. Lockhart was off on the pitch. It doesn't matter, though. Full count. Misses outside. 2 straight walks with 2 outs. Again, the Gatemen are in business.
And it's that bottom of the order that's working the at-bats. I had said it in the pregame. That's what the Gatemen needed to do earlier against Bergner. They didn't necessarily do that. They got the pitch count up early, but he cruised along for most of the game. Of course, they ended up getting the big hit, so it didn't matter that much anyway. But they're certainly working the count here, and it's those bottom-of-the-order guys who know that during the regular season they had to fight for spots in the lineup by working good at-bats, and they're still carrying over those good habits here into the postseason.
So now Ryan Kreidler strides in. He was hit by a pitch his last time up and scored a run on the Shenton double. First pitch down and in, a ball and no strikes. Mentioned Knoll has some experience in summer leagues. Played with the Bellingham Bells of the West Coast League last summer, and played with the Conejo Oaks, I beg your pardon, of the California Collegiate League in 2016. So both West Coast teams now making the trip all the way out here to the Cape League. The 1-0. Fastball up and away, 2 balls and no strikes.
And he is, of course, West Coast guy, California.
As is Ryan Kreidler.
Yep. Bellingham. That's the hometown of our very own Austin Shenton, isn't it?
Bellingham, Washington.
Yeah.
Actually, those two were teammates with the Bellingham Bells last summer.
See, there you go.
Thank you for the information from our esteemed beat writer, Ian Viscera, letting us know everything we need to know about the previous stops. Pitching coach out to the mound to talk things over now with the left-hander on the mound, Zach Knoll, who has, after getting the first two outs of the inning very efficiently, run into some struggles with location. A 4-pitch walk to Lyle Lockhart. Ran the count up all the way to 3 balls and 2 strikes against Dunn. Missed outside on a full count offering, and now 2 straight pitches out of the strike zone to Ryan Kreidler.
And obviously, with the pitching coach coming out to the mound, you're expecting a strike here anyway, but on 2-0, you're sitting fastball. I think this is the pitch to hit if you're Ryan Kreidler.
2-0. Fastball hit into center field, fairly deep, but it will hang up for John Rave. A couple of steps to his left, camps underneath it, and corrals it for out number 3. So the Gatemen get 2 more runners on, but they strand them at first and second. We're headed to the top of the 7th. Easton Lucas back to the mound when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway. Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
9-1-2 due up for the Chatham Anglers in the top of the 7th inning. Kyle McCann, Blake Sable, and Spencer Torkelson due up for Chatham against Easton Lucas. The left-hander out of Pepperdine was excellent in his first inning of the outing. Last inning in the 6th. Walked Drew Mendoza to start it. After that, 3 straight outs, 2 on the ground ball, and 1 on a looking K of Greg Jones. His first pitch to Kyle McCann, the left-handed first baseman, called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. McCann today, a walk in the 2nd inning, in the 3rd, and then grounded out to the shortstop Ryan Kreidler on a very nice play from Kreidler to end the 4th. 0-1 from Lucas, breaking ball, waved on and missed from Kyle McCann. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, the first baseman out of Georgia Tech, one of 7 left-handers in the lineup today for Chatham. 0-2. Fastball chopped foul on a protective, swing on the outside corner. Lucky he got a piece of it, 0-2.
And that swing eerily similar to the last time he was up with that Ryan Kreidler play. That was huge in leaving the bases loaded to end the inning.
0-2, elevated the fastball, somehow skipped through the fence and almost came back and hit us. A very small, just tiny little spot. I guarantee you that will never happen again. Where it snuck through the fence. 0-2, breaking ball up and in, a ball and 2 strikes. I'm a little dumbfounded that was able to happen. There's just a little part where the zip tie isn't quite tight enough and has a little opening and got through. 1-2 from Lucas. Slider away and low as well, 2-2.
And hit right next to where the frame ends, the window frame, so it didn't come in here. But man,
there's a little bit of a three-quarters wall between us and the official score that kept both of us safe. 2-2 from Lucas. Fastball blooped into shallow left center field. Ryan Kryler trying to come in. Diving catch by Jacob Goldfarb. Oh my goodness, what a play from Goldfarb. Sinking line drive. Ryan Kryler, the shortstop, chased it out into shallow left field. Goldfarb on his horse the entire way, laid out full body extension, and made a fantastic catch. He's probably, out of the three outfielders out there, your quote-unquote worst defender, but he made an absolutely magnificent catch for the first out of the inning.
And I thought that ball was perfectly placed out there to left center. And I've been on Goldfarb this year for sure because of his defensive outfield, but just makes a tremendous athletic play out there, the full extension to rob a hit.
First pitch breaking ball up over the belt of Blake Sable. Top of the order now for Chatham and their two best hitters coming to the dish. 1-0 to Sable. Big swing and a miss at a slider on the outside corner, 1-1. Sable, the left fielder, 2 strikeouts today, both against Ryan Garcia, 1 in the first, 1 in the fifth, as well as a ground out to Oliver Dunn at second base in the third inning. Behind him, the big bopper Spencer Torkelson. 1-1 from Lucas. Fastball high, 2-1. And this play from Jacob Goldfarb becomes all the more important that you've got now these two guys behind him that have outstanding RBI numbers, outstanding power numbers, because if you have a runner on, this inning could get ugly quickly. 2-1 from Lucas. Fastball, rip and a miss from Sable. He's behind on it, and the count is even now at 2-2 strikes. Sable, the former Gateman, spent a couple of games here in Wareham last summer, but has burst onto the scene in Chatham. 2-2. Fastball, check swing. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire, Rick Emerson, and the count runs full. Fastball missed low below the knees of Blake Sable, and he's run the count full. This is a big pitch coming up here for Easton Lucas. Shakes his head, yes, kicks and fires the payoff. 3-2 is yanked into center field, fairly deep. Jeremy Idens back on his horse, reaches up and makes a running catch into the cavernous center field here at Spillane Field. 4-12 out to dead center, and he makes the catch for out number 2. 2 fantastic defensive plays from the left fielder Goldfarb and now the center fielder Idens.
Yeah, that thing was stung out to center field, and in pretty much any other ballpark, most other ballparks in the Cape League, that one's off the wall or getting out, including Veterans Field out there in Chatham. That could be a home run tomorrow, but today, that's Jeremy Idens using that great speed he has out there in center field to track it down easily. And we've seen him out in the corner outfield most of the year, but when he fills in center field, he does it admirably. And probably your best defensive outfielder, Skylar Hunter, is the guy who would usually start out there in center, but you really don't lose much defensively when you send Idens out there, which is just so huge going into a big game like today to afford to be able to move him into center seamlessly.
Jim Lawler comes out and checks on Easton Lucas, but he's all ready to go to face Spencer Torkelson. First pitch fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Lawler went out there to discuss strategy, and you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsored that trip to the mound. Torkelson doubled in his last at-bat in the 5th inning, the 0-1. Fastball popped up foul down the left field side. I beg your pardon, down the right field side. It's 0-2. Torkelson, the Arizona State Sun Devil, trying to help lead Chatham to their first Cape League championship since 1999. This is the first time they have been to the championship series since 2001. You know what happened the last time, Cam? Little trivia question for you. We'll wait for the 0-2. Here it comes. Fastball up.
Gatemen were Cape League champions the last time Chatham went to the final.
They were indeed. A 3-game series and a 3-game win for the Wareham Gatemen. Won in 2001, 2002, and most recently in 2012. 1-2 from Lucas, outside to Torkelson. Little run on the fastball away from the right-handed hitter, 2-2.
And to top it all off for the Anglers that year, they lose in the finals and then have that god-awful movie made about them. The curse of Freddie Prinze Jr. has lived on since.
2-2 strikes from Easton Lucas. His pitch to Spencer Torkelson. Fastball just missed inside. That is a fantastic pitch.
I gotta have that one. I gotta have it, JD.
We said the last pitch that missed outside had a little run toward the right-hander batter's box. That started in, then hit the outside corner. 3-2 is just bombed out to left field. Goodbye. About 3/4 of the way up the bleachers from Spencer Torkelson. My goodness. It's 3-1 Gatemen.
Can't give that guy an extra chance. Should have been a called strike 3 and should have been out of this inning. Tries to sneak another inside fastball in there, and Torkelson's going to clean that out 9 times out of 10.
That is home run number 3 in the postseason for Torkelson. Home run number 10 on the season for him. 7 in the regular season, 3 in the postseason. And just an absolute mammoth shot from Spencer Torkelson.
Came very close to clearing the entire left field bleachers out there. That is an impressive, impressive poke.
First pitch to Michael Bush. Called strike on the outside corner on a slider, 0-1. Bush, no stranger to home runs himself. He also had a home run in that 5-home-run game in Game 1 of the series with the Brewster Whitecaps. 0-1, fouled off. 0-2. Torkelson had 2 in that game. He's got 1 here. That's 3 in the postseason, as well as the 7 we mentioned in the regular season. And he only played 25 games in the regular season. The kid has got power galore. 0-2. Fastball ripped down the left field line, but foul. Still no balls and 2 strikes.
The kid can hit, is what you're telling me.
He can. Home run race all season long with former Gateman Andrew Vaughn out there in the Pac-12. Vaughn finishes with 24 home runs on the season. Spencer Torkelson with 25 to lead the country. No balls and 2 strikes. Easton Lucas shakes off the sign out of the full windup. Kick and a pitch. 0-2 is chopped foul toward the third base side. Now to play.
Well, you know you weren't going to keep them off the board all night. And if you're the Gatemen, the way that the Anglers have been able to get guys on base, you'll take that shot if it's just a solo homer from Torkelson.
And I mentioned that play from Goldfarb becoming all the more important, because it could have been a 2-run homer instead of just 1. Lucas out of the count, 0-2. His pitch home is chopped to the right side into the waiting glove of Oliver Dunn. Sidearm throw to first in time to Lyle Lockhart. That'll end it for the 7th. Solo home run from Spencer Torkelson puts Chatham on the board for the first time today. A no-doubt shot to left field, but the Gatemen still have a 3-1 lead, I beg your pardon, as we head to the bottom of the 7th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Reeves Martin, the right-hander out of New Orleans, is the new pitcher into the game for Chatham. So Zach Knoll's day is done. Got out of a relatively difficult jam in the 6th. Got the first 2 outs of the inning on a ground out and a strikeout, then walked the next 2 before Ryan Kreidler flied out to fairly deep center field. So the final line on Knoll: 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no strikeouts, 1 strikeout and 2 walks. JD Rachi here now alongside our beat writer Ian Becerra. He will come in and provide color commentary here in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be the top of the order due up for the Gatemen. 1, 2, 3, Collins, Goldfarb, Shenton for the Gatemen. Part of the order we saw successful back in the 5th inning. Oliver Dunn got on, then Ryan Kreidler got on, then Isaac Collins reached on a fielder's choice and an error. And all 3 of them came in to score on a 3-run double from Austin Shenton. So Isaac Collins Switch hitter will bat left. Never got a chance to turn it around to the right side against the left-hander Knoll, as the right-hander Reeves Martin comes into the game. The right-hander out of the University of New Orleans, one of the privateers, one of the cooler mascots in college baseball. Collins takes a deep breath as he steps into the left-handed batter's box. He's reached base twice today. First pitch from Reeves Martin, called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Right-hander not tall at all, at 5'9" on the mound. Very similar in stature, actually, to Isaac Collins in the batter's box. The 0-1. Breaking ball up and away, a ball and a strike. Three to 1 Gatemen. Bottom of the 7th inning, trying to hold on for a Game 1 win. 1-1. Fastball hit right back up the middle and through into right center field for an ace hit. Isaac Collins with a big turnaround first base, but he will stop there. He's on with a leadoff single in the 7th.
Great piece of hitting right there by Isaac Collins, and it'll be interesting to see right now what the Gatemen do, if they want to play this safe and just let Goldfarb hit away, or if they want to go with a little hit and run. We already saw Collins with the steal today. He's got great speed over there. A lot of things you can do right now, especially being up in the ballgame by 2 runs.
And something you mentioned, Ian, was with a good pitcher on the mound in Austin Bergner, we were expecting to see the Gatemen be pretty aggressive on the base paths. Obviously not as good a pitcher here in Reeves Martin, but still one that can get the job done. First pitch to Jacob Goldfarb, misses up and away. A ball and no strikes from the right-hander to the left-hander. Martin listed at 5'8", 180 pounds out of New Orleans. In 3 games out of the bullpen in the regular season for Chatham, he went 3 innings and gave up 3 runs, a 9 ERA. Ball and no strikes, pitch home. Fastball chop foul to the right side, 1-1.
And JD, to get back to the point about, putting pressure on the defense with, stealing, hit and runs, that sort of thing. We've already seen this Chatham team make 2 errors today. They're not one of the better fielding teams in the league. So, if you keep that pressure on them, just makes it that much more difficult for the pitchers.
Chatham's kind of your stereotypical all-power, no contact or excellent defensive play kind of team. The 1-1. It's a changeup that misses low, 2 balls and a strike. Not a team that's going to hit a ton for average. They didn't this season, but they hit a ton of home runs. A lot of extra base hits. Reeves Martin, the right-hander out of Tampa, Florida, and Tampa Catholic High School, played the early part of this summer with the Newmarket Rebels of the Valley Collegiate League. 2-1 to Goldfarb, misses up and away, 3-1 to a good and patient batter in Jacob Goldfarb, who has an excellent on-base percentage this season for the Gatemen, despite the average being relatively low. Of course, started the summer with the Katuitt Kettleers, went 1 for 18 in a Ket's uniform. Finished the regular season with a .268 batting average, but a .426 on-base percentage. 3-1, fastball yanked down the right field line, and that will go for extra bases. It rolls all the way to the wall. Isaac Collins is being waved around third by Mike Mobbs. The throw will come in. It'll be cut off by the first baseman Kyle McCann, and all the way up to third with an RBI triple is Jacob Goldfarb, and the Gatemen take a 4-1 lead.
And that is huge right there, JD. We saw Chatham with the run in that half of the inning. Wareham comes back in their own half of the inning. They get it right back, extend the lead back to 3. That's big.
Another humongous hit from this top third of the order. Last time it was Austin Shenton who now comes in. A bases-clearing double in the 5th inning. Then against Austin Bergner. And now it looks like they will actually pitch him here. I thought for a moment they were going to intentionally walk him. Runner at third. Infield in on the grass. First pitch is fouled off the knee of Colin Simpson, 0-1.
Yeah, it's a tough call right here whether or not to pitch to him because he has been unreal this postseason. But if you put him on, it's still no outs. You can't end the inning with the double play, and you're just putting on another potential run, especially with a good hitter and Jeremy Idens up next.
Idens has been struggling of late, but does have a crucial single in today's game. The 0-1 for Martin. Fastball yanked down the left field line, dribbles past the third base coach Mike Mobbs, 0-2. So the RBI triple for Jacob Goldfarb, and that's something we've seen a lot more for the Gatemen of late. A couple of triples in their last couple of games. Isaac Collins with an RBI triple. 2 of them in this postseason. Now time called for by the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia. As Austin Shenton, the third baseman out of FIU, is in the batter's box. He's down 0-2, although he has 1 for 3 on the day with 3 RBIs. The 0-2 from Martin. Fastball swung on and missed. Austin Shenton down on strikes. Reeves Martin buckles down for his first strikeout, the first out of the inning here in the 7th.
Yeah, good pitch right there. Not afraid to go after Austin Shenton, which is, again, very surprising, but he made his pitch, fastball up, and got him to swing underneath it. A great job right there by Martin.
Chatham far from out of the woods yet, though. Another good hitter in Jeremy Idens, the RBI king of the Cape. With a runner at third, first pitch breaking ball is slashed foul down the right field side, 0-1.
That's a good little name for him, RBI king of the Cape. I like that.
Led the league, in RBIs with 34. One of 2 to get over the 30 mark, along with teammate Austin Shenton, who had 30. 0-1. Fastball yanked into the right center field gap. Sinking line drive. Spencer Torkelson comes in and makes the catch. Goldfarb will tag from third. Pretty good throw, but it will get in past Colin Simpson. A sacrifice fly and an RBI, and the Gatemen take a 5-1 lead.
And that's just a great piece of hitting right there by Jeremy Idens. Doesn't try to do too much with it, doesn't try and pull it, just takes it the other way, and he knows, just get it out in the outfield with 1 away. That's going to be plenty deep enough to score the pretty speedy Jake Goldfarb.
So Jeremy Idens delivers again his first RBI of the day. RBIs for Shenton, Goldfarb, and Idens now in the game. And Drew Millis, who also stung a ball very well out to right field against Austin Bergner. He's 0 for 3 on the day, but has been hitting the ball hard in this game, comes to the plate. He's batted twice from the left side, once from the right. He'll go back to the left-handed bat here. First pitch from Martin. Breaking ball up, 1-0.
And JD, to get back to your point earlier about Chatham being, the stereotypical power team, I think it just goes to show the kind of opposite right now for Wareham. They're just a bunch of pro hitters. Shenton doesn't have great power. He can still, hit the ball out of the park. Same with Idens, but they're just pro hitters. They get the job done. Key situations time and time again, they just deliver in the runs, and we're seeing it right now with this 5-1 lead.
The 1-0 from Martin. Fastball swung on and tipped into center field. Right at John Rave, though. Barely has to move. Trots to his right a step. Sticks up the right-handed glove and squeezes for out number 3. But 2 more runs come in to score against Reeves Martin. An RBI triple for Jacob Goldfarb. And an RBI sac fly from Jeremy Idens. Give the Gatemen a 5-1 lead as we head to the 8th. What has been the most impressive part of the game for you today, Ian?
Well, I'd say it's the pitching and just the ability to work out of those tough situations, right? So we saw Ryan Garcia put a ton of people on base. He didn't have his great control. He threw 40 balls out of his 92 pitches, so that's not something we typically see from him. But what we do see from him time and time again is not allowing those guys to score. He hasn't given up more than 2 runs in any start this summer. He's just done a fantastic job, and he did a great job again tonight.
One guy that's got to be impressed with the pitching thus far is head coach Don Sneddon. He's with our Mary Orders on the sidelines.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, how big was it to get the lead early?
Well, any time in this game you can get a lead with that, it helps. But you got to play 9 innings. So, whether you score first or don't score first, it really doesn't make that much difference. I was just happy to see us come back right there and get a couple runs after they got a home run.
Garcia went 5 scoreless. How big was that?
Huge. Awesome. Pitcher of the year in my mind. He didn't get it in here, but I don't think he gave up an earned run his last 4 or 5 outings.
How have you liked Easton's outing so far?
Well, he can't walk guys. That's the key, so he's got to throw strikes. And, he's done well with that part. They got a lot of left-handed hitters, so that's why we like him out there.
Coach, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary and Coach Don Sneddon, as always. One thing he talked about there, Cam, was scoring first and how the Gatemen did score first in this game. And one of possibly the craziest stats you could possibly think of this season. Typically when you score first, you get off on a good foot. We always beg the Gatemen to get off on a good foot because that is when they're at their best. How about a 24-1 record this year when the Gatemen score first compared to a 5-13-2 record when they score second?
Just flabbergasting. And, we have talked about it all year, and it's actually turned the tides, I think, in this postseason. But the Gatemen did not do very well this season in one-run ball games. They won a lot of their wins came via the blowout. So if the offense didn't come to play, then it probably wasn't going to be a win for the Gatemen. But that stat, still just as impressive, 24-1. when scoring first. That's the sign of good starting pitching with a lead, and a pretty good bullpen that we have seen from the Gatemen all year long.
So now Easton Lucas will contend with Colin Simpson to lead off this inning. His first pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Simpson out of Oklahoma State, the left-handed catcher, is 1 for 3 on the day. He's got a single in the fourth. 0-1. Breaking ball just misses below the knees, 1-1.
Not a bad pitch there from Lucas, and that's where he wants it. I mentioned earlier, he's not going to get many in there for called strikes. I think that was one he was looking for to fool the hitter. Probably should have gotten the call.
1-1. Slider on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. Simpson trying to get a rally going here for the Anglers. They're down 5-1 in the top of the 8th inning, trying to win their first championship since '99. 1-2 stung right back up the middle. Oliver Dunn on a backhand. He makes the stop, throws to first in time. 4-3 on the putout, 1 gone, and a nice play from Ollie Dunn.
And that's a position the Gatemen have been set on all year defensively. It's second base. Dunn, Collins, and Sahid Valenzuela, when he was here, all very sure-handed at second base. And as you go forward, you lose a guy like Valenzuela due to injury. You know, it can get worrisome depending on who you're going to put in there and if you're going to get that same defensive output. I talked about it earlier with Jeremy Idens being able to fill in admirably in center field. Well, both Collins and Dunn are natural second basemen as well and can cover a lot of ground out there. We've seen some good plays from Dunn tonight.
First pitch to Drew Mendoza, as many he has seen in this game, misses out of the strike zone, 1-0. To the DH out of Florida State, who in all 3 times he has come to the dish has walked. For the Anglers, 1-0. Fastball strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Mendoza out of Florida State. Just finished up his sophomore season with the Seminoles. Big guy. Spent last year with YD, and when you come to the Cape after your freshman year, you know you're good. When you're invited back again, you know you're pretty darn awesome. 1-1 breaking ball. Beautiful backdoor slider from Easton Lucas on the inside corner. A strike, 1-2. Base is empty. 1 out in the 8th. Gateman protecting a 4-run lead. Lucas rocks back, kicks and fires the 1-2. It's wasted foul by Mendoza back behind him and to the right of the backstop. Still a ball and 2 strikes, right near the Water Whiz sign behind home plate here at Spillane Field. Lucas up to 49 pitches on the outing now through 2 1/3 innings. He's only given up the 1 run on the homer. That's the only hit he's given up as well. 1-2, fastball stung right back toward us. Still a ball and 2 strikes.
Zip ties hold up this time.
That's right. Didn't sneak through. Speaking of that home run, probably one of the 2 longest we've seen this season that we've gotten numbers on. 402 feet from Spencer Torkelson out to left field. The 1-2. Fastball just below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that thing was on a line. If we don't have bleachers out there in left field, it might have gone even further.
Might have hit my car out there.
It's a good thing we got those bleachers.
That's right. Always
Correct
parked right
answer.
behind the bleachers. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch home from the southpaw. Lucas is waved on and missed. Misses in the dirt. They'll throw down to first base just to complete the out. And they get Drew Mendoza as he trots down. Second strikeout of the day for Easton Lucas, and then the 2-3 putout. That's brought to you by Lang Exafaris and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. 2 gone in the 8th.
And you obviously don't want to look too far ahead here in any postseason game, but those 2 runs so crucial for the Gatemen, because even if Lucas struggles a bit here, he's still only at about 50 pitches. You can finish him off in this one with 4 more outs to get.
First pitch in to John Rave, misses down and away on a slider. A ball and no strikes to the center fielder out of Illinois State, who has a double down the left field line in the second. Since then, he's struck out swinging and grounded out 3 unassisted to the first baseman Lyle Lockhart. The 1-0 from Lucas. Fastball low, 2-0.
But obviously, this Chatham offense can strike at any moment. As we saw with that Torkelson homer, just thankfully for the Gatemen, no one on base for that. It can come around at any point.
Out of the windup, the 2-0. Fastball paints the outside corner for a strike. And the count moves to 2-1 to Rave, who hit over 300 this season, was an all-star for the Chatham Anglers, one of a couple on the team in the East Division. 2-1. Fastball yanked down the left field line, hit fairly deep, but it will twist foul. And out of play as Jacob Goldfarb gives it a look. Deuces across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, Gatemen protecting a 4-run lead in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series here from Spillane Field. They will have home field advantage throughout this series, Game 1 being played here at Spillane. 2-2 from Lucas. Fastball fought off on the inside corner. 2-2. Heater came right in on the hands of Rave. Good pitch. Game 2 will be played tomorrow night at Veterans Field in Chatham. 7 o'clock first pitch out on the East Cape. Game 3, if necessary, will be played here at Spillane at 6:30 on Monday. The 2-2 from Lucas. Fastball chopped right back up the middle. Going to be a difficult play. Ryan Kreidler spinning, throwing on to first, not in time. John Rave with good speed beats out the infield single, but you can't say much more about Ryan Kreidler's defense. That exemplifies it right there.
That was labeled for center field, and Kreidler with those long strides, ever so gracefully moving up the middle. I thought he had no chance of getting to this. He does. He seems to get to anything. He's like a Hoover vacuum out there at shortstop, and a very strong throw on to first base. That throw, maybe even tougher than tracking down the ball, and just a hair in there safely is Rave.
Had to throw across his body, moving into the outfield away from the bag, and just put on a spot-on throw to Lyle Lockhart. Lockhart with a great stretch, but Rave with excellent speed reaches. So now it's up to Ben Ramirez, the left-hander out of USC. First pitch to him is a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Ramirez on the day, he's 0 for 3. He's done a little bit of everything. Struck out in the 2nd, flied out in the 4th, and grounded out in the 6th. Throw over to first, but Rave is back in, headlong into the pillow. Rave's third on the team in stolen bases this season with 5 for the Chatham Anglers, who led the league in stolen bags. 0-1 chop foul down the right field side. Just out of the reach of Lyle Lockhart. It's 0-2. Greg Jones, who has reached base once today, but reached it with the bases loaded, so no stolen base opportunities for him, had 20 stolen bases. And how about Blake Sable? Probably your best hitter that has been here throughout the summer. 14 stolen bases for him as well out of USC. 4th in the league in average, 2nd in stolen bases, 2nd in home runs. Just a stellar summer for him. 0-2, fastball low, 1-2, although the Gatemen have been able to quell him today. He's 0 for 4.
And Sable's a guy who can also catch. He caught a little bit for the Gatemen last year, but definitely more of that new age, very athletic catcher's type mold. It's not like the old days where it was just your short, stocky guy behind home plate.
The 1-2, looping, breaking ball. Looked like it might have clipped the inside corner, but came a little bit too far in on the hands of Ben Ramirez. 2-2. Kind of in the mold of Drew Millis. And then you look at who Chatham is catching tonight. Colin Simpson, kind of in the old mold, 5'9", 215. Very stocky, powerful guy behind the plate. 2-2. Breaking ball slapped toward Lyle Lockhart. He vacuums it up. A Hoover out there at first base and tags the bag. 3 unassisted for the final out of the inning. So another base runner comes on against Easton Lucas, but again he strands him. He's had base runners in each of the first 3 innings of work. Gatemen headed to the bottom of the 8th with a 5-1 lead. They'll try to add to it when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is sponsored by Dietz & Watson Premium Meats and Cheeses. They've got everything you need for summer grilling, like 100% beef franks. These franks are made of hand-trimmed beef with that old-fashioned snap when you bite into them. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
The 80 Makepeace Company also owns and operates Reed Custom Soils, the area's leading manufacturer of custom soils, including CU Structural Soil and Rooflight Certified Green Roof Media. Reed Custom Soils is also a manufacturer and distributor of baseball infield mix and conditioners. To learn more, visit 80makepeace.com or reedcustomsoils.com.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier two-year maritime college.
Right-hander Reeves Martin out of New Orleans back to the mound in the bottom half of the eighth inning, I beg your pardon, here for the Chatham Anglers. Gatemen come to the plate with Gian Martellini, Lyle Lockhart, and Oliver Dunn due up for Wareham. They lead at 5-1 right now, but a couple of insurance runs would definitely do them some good, considering the kind of offensive firepower that Chatham has coming to the dish in the ninth. First pitch to Gian Martellini, looping breaking ball, hits the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Martellini out of Boston College is 1 for 3 on the day. Single in the second, ground out in the fourth, and a strikeout swinging in the sixth. He has faced two different pitchers, the third here in Martin. 0-1 low, 1-1 on a breaking ball out and away. This is kind of that, not the mixture between the new age catcher and the old catcher in Gian Martellini. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball up and in. He has to bend out of the way and get out of the way of a fastball, 2-1. He is stocky. He is bigger. He is not quick on the base paths, but he's still relatively athletic and runs relatively well for his size.
Definitely a new age hitter.
2-1 right back up the middle off the glove of Reeves Martin, and because of that, he'll be able to flip to first. But that was a well-hit ball from Gian Martellini. Unfortunately for him, though, it ends in a 1-3 putout, one gone in the eighth.
Yeah, that thing was hit right on the knob, and I was saying new age hitter because the average isn't usually there for Martellini. It's typically down in the 230s at Boston College, but the RBI numbers, the home run numbers, big swing from Gian. He's a big proponent of chicks digging the long ball.
Led the Boston College Eagles in slugging percentage as a sophomore, before having a bit of a down year this year. First pitch to Lyle Lockhart batting left. Change up on the outside corner, a strike, 0-1. Martin, although he gave up 2 runs in the seventh, relatively efficient with his pitches, only 18 on the afternoon. 0-1, big rip and a miss at a fastball, blew it right by Lockhart. 0-2. Lockhart's 0-4-2, I beg your pardon, on the day. Grounded into a double play in the second, struck out in the fifth, and then walked in the sixth inning. The 0-2. Fastball outside, a ball and 2 strikes from the diminutive Reeves Martin on the mound at just 5'8". Almost certainly the smallest pitcher we've seen this season. Braden Como, who pitched twice against the Gatemen of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, a position player, also relatively small. 1-2 breaking ball stung toward the left side. Greg Jones fields, throws on to first. 2 gone in the inning. He's able to corral and make up for a couple of previous mistakes. Oliver Dunn, the left-handed second baseman out of Utah, comes to the dish now. There's a left-hander in the bullpen warming for the Chatham Anglers. It's Spencer Van Scoy out of Arizona State. First pitch breaking ball misses up and away to Dunn. A ball and no strikes to the Utah Ute, who has had a successful day today. Popped up into foul territory his first time up in the third inning. Then doubled on a scorcher down the right field line in the fifth, and then walked in the sixth. So he's been on base 2 out of the 3 times he's come to the plate. 1 for 2 in the ledger. 1-0. Breaking ball up and away again, 2-0.
I think the Gatemen might want the Anglers to save Spencer Van Scoy for tomorrow, because they have tagged him this year.
They have had much success against the left-hander Van Scoy out of Arizona State. He pitched both times when the Gatemen went to Veterans Field this season. 2-0 misses up, 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes the count from the right-hander Reeves Martin to the left-handed hitting Oliver Dunn. The pitch on. Fastball up and away. And on with a 4-pitch, 2-out walk is Oliver Dunn.
Just keeps finding ways to get on base. It's his second straight walk, or second in as many plate appearances. And a double today puts him on base 3 times. Starting to get that bat back after a bit of a drought since that big 2-run single he had in Game 1 of the postseason.
And you mentioned Van Scoy's struggles against the Gatemen. How at a 15.75 ERA in 2 games played in 4 innings against Wareham. He's given up 6 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts.
It's not great.
But right now, the right-hander Reeves Martin is on the mound. First pitch to Ryan Kreidler, dives into the zone, but out of it. 1-0. I should say it dove low and out of the zone. I beg your pardon. Kreidler hit by a pitch, scored a run in the 4th. Outside of that, he's 0 for 2. 1-0. Swung on and tipped foul, or tipped up into the infield. Ben Ramirez floats over toward the shortstop position from his third base standing, but makes the play for out number 3. So the Gatemen get a runner on a 2-out walk from Oliver Dunn. They don't get anything across to score, though. A 4-run lead for the Gatemen as we head to the top of the 9th. Easton Lucas trying to shut it down for Wareham when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is sponsored by Dietz & Watson Premium Meats and Cheeses. Their all-beef Franks are their ultimate summer hot dog. They're smoked the old-fashioned way with just a touch of garlic and paprika. Pick up a pack at your local deli today. Dietz & Watson. It's a family thing.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
The 9th inning, Easton Lucas back to the mound for the Gatemen in the frame. And they will try to shut down the Anglers. They lead it 5-1. The final 3 outs of the inning would guarantee and secure the Gatemen a first game win in the CCBL Championship Series. And we will have a pinch hitter to lead things off. Jorge Arenas, the shortstop out of Stetson, will pinch hit for Greg Jones, his counterpart out of UNC Wilmington. Coming into this game with a .214 average in 36 games, a .291 on-base percentage, but Jones has been unsuccessful at the plate, so Tom Holliday electing for Arenas. First pitch from Easton Lucas, foul tip into the mitt of Drew Millis behind home plate, 0-1. Then on deck, we will not see Kyle McCann. We will see yesterday's starting pitcher and two-way extraordinaire, Tristan English, who waits on deck for the Chatham Anglers. First baseman pitcher combo out of Georgia Tech as well. 0-1 the count to Arenas. Just finished up his sophomore season at Stetson in Florida. 0-1. Fastball low. 1-1. Arenas was the starting shortstop at the beginning of the year. Then Greg Jones took his job, but Jones has struggled defensively. The 1-1 misses low and in. 2 balls and a strike. He's also pitched once this season, or pitched twice, I should say, this season. 9 ERA in 2 games, but in the playoffs, an .077 average. 2-1 from Lucas. Fastball up, 3-1, and this is not a guy you want to put on base because he has been so unsuccessful. .214 in the regular season, .077, 1 for 13 in the postseason. So Arenas waggles the bat over the plate and over his head. The 3-1 from Lucas. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count runs full.
Reared back on that one. That's one of the firmest fastballs we've seen from Easton Lucas all night.
8-9-1 due up in the inning. Jorge Arenas, what will become Tristan English, and Blake Sable for Chatham. The payoff pitch from Lucas. Fastball low. He walked him.
Not the start you want. I mean, we've talked about it. This is an offense that can strike at any minute. Got two pretty good pinch hitters here at the bottom of the order before sending it back up to the likes of Sable and Torkelson.
And now, unless you can get some form of a double play, Spencer Torkelson will bat in this inning for the Chatham Anglers. He's already got a mammoth home run today off Lucas. But right now it's Tristan English. Throw over to first. Close play over there, as Arenas had to scramble back to Lyle Lockhart. English 8 2/3 innings yesterday as the starting pitcher had a shutout going into the final out of that game against Brewster, the series clincher out at Stony Brook Field. Two-way guy who hit excellently this season in the regular season for the Chatham Anglers. Hit 300 on the dot, 30 for 100. First pitch, breaking ball, in at the knees for a strike, 0-1. In those 30 hits, he had 6 doubles and 5 home runs with 19 RBIs, 6 walks to just 15 strikeouts, so he puts the ball in play more than pretty much anybody else in the league. 0-1. Breaking ball swung on and clobbered high and deep out to left field. Jacob Goldfarb ranging back, and it's up the bleachers for a home run. A hanging breaker to Tristan English, and he puts it out in a hurry. All of a sudden, this is just a 2-run ball game. It's 5-3, the Wareham lead.
Got to get someone up. Got to get someone up if you're the Gatemen. It's getting too close for comfort. Top of the order coming up, still nobody out in the 9th. Keep talking about it. They can strike at any moment. And this guy has come up huge for them, and they are jacked up in that Angler dugout. Look out.
Make no mistake, both these teams want to win, and they want to win badly. Now Jim Lawler out to the mound to discuss strategy with Easton Lucas, and you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound. So the left-hander Lucas still has the ball in his hand, and it doesn't look like Lawler's going to make the call. This looks like it might be a stall tactic to get somebody up and warming.
Certainly will be, and you got to figure the guy who has been being saved, they are going to make a move out right now. I was going to say the guy who's being saved has been Ryan Stoudemire. We'll see who trots out of the bullpen.
It is a left-hander coming out of the bullpen. Looks like it might be Joey Barron, a left-hander out of Lackawanna College. This is the combination we saw against Kitsui. It almost backfired on the Gatemen. We'll see how it turns out here for Wareham. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Shop from home year-round on Gateman.org. You can customize your Gateman gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gateman.org.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program. Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Left-hander Joey Barron out of Lackawanna College to the mound for the Gatemen here in the top of the 9th inning. Still with a 2-run lead, but nobody out with your 3 best hitters in Blake Sable, Spencer Torkelson, and Michael Bush coming up to the plate. This pitching change is brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course, with a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day. We are always welcome to the public, so go get to the point. Easton Lucas, 3+ innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, all off of home runs. 1 from Spencer Torkelson and 1 from Tristan English. So now it'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. Gatemen electing to go with another left-hander out of the bullpen. Started with the righty Ryan Garcia. Since then have gone 2 left-handers, Easton Lucas first, and now Joey Barron. Blake Sable at the plate is 0 for 4. First pitch fastball misses up. 1-0.
This is obviously moving matchups by Jim Lawler and Don Sneddon. Barron pitched back on Wednesday, so he has not gotten full rest, and Ryan Stoudemire has been rested for a while now, and he's your other back into the bullpen reliable guy.
1-0 tip foul back into the backstop behind home plate. 1-1.
But Stoudemire's a righty, Barron's a lefty, going against some tough left-handed hitters.
You'll see lefty Blake Sable, righty Spencer Torkelson, and lefty Michael Bush at the very least. 1-1. Ripped toward the first base side. Off the glove of Lyle Lockhart. He slips. He'll try to throw over to first. It will get away, and Tristan English will reach. I beg your pardon. It'll be Blake Sable reaching at first.
If you're a Chatham fan, you're getting what you want. The tying run coming to the plate in Spencer Torkelson. Barron has been good for the Gatemen in this postseason. Earned a win and a save, but he never makes it easy on them, and he is making it as hard as possible right now.
The Chatham Anglers fans here on the third base side are fired up. Their best home run hitter come to the plate in Spencer Torkelson. Torkelson, big right-hander out of Arizona State, launched a 400-plus foot home run his last time up. Sends one's out to right field, but Isaac Collins has a beat on it the whole way. 1 pitch, 1 out, and a humongous out for Joey Barron.
That's big. Get him on 1 pitch.
1 gone in the 9th. He gave him something he liked, but popped it up into right field, and now here comes Michael Bush. Infield at double play depth, a twin killing would end this game. Sable with good speed at first. He has 14 stolen bases on the season. Wouldn't be terribly surprised to see him try to move up, although he is a precious base runner in this situation with a tying run at the plate in Michael Bush. Bush, the second baseman, is 0 for 4. First pitch. Breaking ball called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Bush struck out in the first, grounded out in the third, struck out in the fifth, and grounded out in the 7th. Swinging K, ground out to second, swinging K, ground out to second. It has been a pattern day thus far for Bush. The 0-1. Fastball, chipped foul back in left, 0-2. Joey Barron, the left-hander out of Lackawanna College, was pretty much untouchable in the regular season. He has since given us a number of scares in the postseason. Pitched in Game 1 after Easton Lucas against Cotuit. No balls and 2 strikes, the count to Michael Bush. The pitch home from Barron. Fastball right down the pipe, ripped foul down the left field side. And we'll do it again at 0-2. Bush out of UNC Chapel Hill. Tar Heels of the ACC going up against the Lackawanna College Falcon of Division II. Sable, the USC Trojan, with a small lead at first, being held on by Lockhart. The 0-2. Checked his swing. He went around for a strikeout. Huge strikeout for Joey Barron. His first of the day. 2 gone in the 9th.
No doubt about it on the swing going around, but I'm still glad they didn't appeal down to third. We haven't seen a guy rung up on that all year on that appeal, but huge out. But you got a guy up in the plate right now. Knows the power alleys to right field, his pull side, and he can leave the yard like the rest of them in this Chatham order.
5 home runs of the regular season for Colin Simpson, 1 here in the postseason. Lefty-lefty matchup once again. First pitch is sprayed foul down the left field line. Jacob Goldfarb will give it a chase, but will get out of play. 0-1 to Simpson, who is 1 for 4 on the day. Flied out to right field in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, grounded out in the 5th, and grounded out in the 8th. Joey Barron trying to come into the game, pick up a save here in the 9th inning. Gatemen up by 2. The 0-1. Breaking ball, chopped to the right side. Diving stop by Lyle Lockhart, and he tags the bag. The Gatemen win Game 1. That's how you make up for an error in the early part of the inning. Lyle Lockhart comes up huge defensively, and the Gatemen are 1 win away from a CCBL championship.
It was never in doubt, was it, JD?
Oh, wow. What a game.
That still might have been the easiest save Joey Barron's given our hearts all year.
Absolutely incredible. Gutsy performance from Barron. Woo. Ryan Garcia with the win. The loss goes to Austin Bergner out of UNC. The save to Joey Barron. The game coming in, ending at 9:36, just over 3 hours, at 3 hours and 2 minutes. And really, it was Ryan Garcia getting out of sticky situations that helped the Gatemen win this game.
Just left guys on base inning after inning after inning. After the first, the next 4 that he worked, left a guy on base in all of them, and 3 of them he left a man in scoring position. Did not allow the Chatham offense to get going, and we've seen what it was like even when they didn't get going. They make a ball game out of it. They put 3 on the board, a couple of homers. Can you imagine if they had started to cash in early? And it's that stat we go back to, that amazing stat, 24-1 for the Gatemen when they score first. They take the initiative in this one. They get the big 3 runs off the bat of Austin Shenton and just don't look back.
And that RBI double from Austin Shenton had this place erupting. He has been absolutely magnificent in this postseason. And again, another huge day for him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say enough. The double. And he had an intriguing first couple at-bats because he looked like he knew the stuff that was coming from Bergner, but he just couldn't catch up to it. That heavy fastball coming in at about 94, 95, he just couldn't catch up to it. We mentioned the first at-bat, 13 pitches, he ends up strikes out later in the game as well, but he was just right on it in that hard-hit double that had a chance to get out and also had a chance to settle in Spencer Torkelson's glove, but doesn't come up with it. 2 outs, 2 strikes on the hit, and that's the hit of the ball game, obviously.
The Gatemen find a way to pull it out, a 5-3 win, in Game 1 of the CCBL Championship Series. They will try to close it out tomorrow with a win at Veterans Field, where they are 2-0 on the season. That'll do it for us from Spillane Field. We want to hand out a couple of thank yous, though, before we go off the air. To our producer, Trevor Russo, for keeping us on and keeping us out of a hairy situation in the middle of the game. For our beat writer, Ian Becerra. For our sideline reporter, Mary Orders. For our WCTV broadcaster today, Enrique Demore. And for my broadcast partner, Cameron Stewart, I'm JD Rachi saying so long. Once again, the final score from Spillane Field, the Gatemen take a 1-0 lead in the CCBL Championship Series with a 5-3 win over the Chatham Anglers. We will talk to you tomorrow night from Veterans Field.